right. Just gotta wait on this thing to switch. Come on. Huh, weird.
What's up?
Well, it was doing the, that one thing you gave me, top. It didn't want to switch down to, TTS for my, recorder for the stream. I don't know why. Either way, I turned, I guess turned it off? I don't know. Either way, hello ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay. That one's my fault. Doctor stuff real life. Let's see. What is this? Episode 14. So welcome back to Star Wars. I'm off. Relics of a Time Past, the TTS tabletop simulator series we've been playing. Episode 14 of the 3rd season. We are currently down one Toughman. So, 3 guys for today. Also, I completely forgot that obligation actually came up last round for Desric Milan. So he's going to go ahead and take 2 strain. Everyone else is going to take 1. We're carrying that over today. I just re-rolled. And if it's somebody else gets it, they're also going to have it. If Desert gets it again, it's going to be a critical. If Rose gets it, well, we'll play around with that one. But I do believe, Jonas, you have the opening for today.
Yes, that's all you.
I have a quick question.
Eh.
What if obligation rolls for Desric and it crit?
Ooh. Good question.
Maybe the assassins are successful?
Hey, wait!
Oh dear.
I'm not okay with this. We can't just one-shot my character without me even getting to do anything about it.
Oh no, I wasn't referring against you.
Oh no!
What did you think of he meant by that?
Well, so far most of the assassins have been coming after me. I forgot about the assassins on Desric's parents. Oh, that would be messed up.
Yeah. Let's hope it does.
The results are in. Drum roll.
There's some entirely too ominous music playing through my speakers right now.
And for obligation, Mr. Milan, your parents are safe. No one got it.
Wow. Really?
Phew.
56. Too high for the party's current limits.
And Desric sleeps soundly tonight.
Not quite, because he still has his obligation. Everyone else took 1 strain, right?
Yep.
Alright, so if Jonas, you'd take it away with the intro, everyone else roll their destiny if they haven't done already.
Okay. Entry 19.04.11. Accessing memory. Decryption protocols, Resh left. Access granted. Circuits be saved. We are finally off-world and in one piece. That isn't to say that getting off-world wasn't without its events. Though Rose and Rez are 2 halves of one coin, they occupy both the light and the dark. At least if their claims are to be believed. Rose, by her own admission, serves the dark side of the Force, and I continue to be concerned by her path And as much as I believe Miss Ileana wishes for her to be redeemed, I have my doubts. Speaking of Merez, however, Rose seems intent on keeping the man out of the loop regarding her investigations. And, well, I am not opposed, but I seriously doubt it's for the same reason. Rose can claim that he serves the light until the Banfers come home, and he may well have good intentions. However, I do not trust his allies. They seem to wish to revive the Jedi Order, but their actions are the antithesis of the Jedi. I have to wonder, if they are successful and the Jedi return, will they allow their spark to die out to make room for something far brighter? Or will they just twist the nature of the Jedi to serve their own aims? It remains to be seen, however. But as always, I continue to calculate the chances, and so far, it's not good. Mriz does seem to have allies and eyes everywhere, however, even on Molivar. An oddly refreshing notion, to say the least. Usually I am rather comfortable being left in the background and underestimated. I suppose my interactions with the Chiss, whatever those are, must have left an impression. Either that or my presence amongst the crew of the Skylark made it necessary. A wise move. Never leave anything to chance, especially one as capable as I. Seemingly, he has his eyes on Desric's family, and they similarly have a tracker of some kind following the devastation wrought by Miss Ileana's husband on Mandalore, of all places. An interesting feat, I suppose. My time during the Clone Wars had me surrounded by descendants of Mandalorians, both biologically speaking and culturally speaking, not to mention their training. If you'll pardon the pun, a carbon copy is as capable as clone troopers, I dread to think how capable a pureblood Mandalorian is. Perhaps this is why Miss Ileana is so capable herself. That being said, Mrez, when referring to Miss Ileana's husband, chose an odd word to describe the man. Commando. Oddly specific, I found. I will have to endeavor to inquire as to his background. Perhaps a Marine turned freight worker? And then finally we have Molivar. I had presumed I had left that wasteland behind, and even if I do eventually have to return to the planet, I now know that they have since reactivated the B1 battle droids. Obviously, they have been reprogrammed from war to do more administrative works, but their effectiveness probably leaves something to be desired. I suppose the Imperials don't see Molivar as a worthy target of stationing any sort of proper garrison on world. Not that I blame. Somehow, I'm not surprised at all that they brought the B1s back from mothball. I have to wonder, however, seeing as though I was reprogrammed at the same station, I am as I am now. Now with another droid uprising, was my reprogramming done on purpose? Did someone intentionally give me sapience? And if so, why? Perhaps one day I shall draw back the curtain and find the one who gave me life. Encryption protocol Reshlef. Entry lock.
Bit of breaks here and there, but I liked it.
Agreed. Well done.
He raises some interesting points. Illy, have you anything to say about your husband?
Suppose you'll have to cover that in character, Desiree.
I also remember the main thing when he mentioned commando wasn't it like he was referring to how he did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, the method of killing is almost irrelevant compared to the choice of word.
Ah.
Yeah, seriously, and the way you describe the kills, I would not describe as command.
Effective, efficient, and quick.
Yeah.
Well, you described it almost more like execution style, which is typically not military fashion.
I mean, I guess. But at the same time, given that it was horribly efficient, to Leo, that sort of makes sense.
This is what I say. Yeah, he did it efficiently. He did it quickly, and without them even realizing it was happening.
Yeah.
Surgical strike. That, to me, that's commando.
Okay, so maybe you're describing it differently than I remember.
Yeah. Maybe.
Quick question, Jonas. What'd you roll for force points?
I haven't yet.
I rolled 2 like.
Oh no, I am it. Oh, never mind.
Did you throw away your die?
No, I got one down.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I was going to say I was the traitor this week, but then I scrolled over.
Yeah, no, that would be me.
Yeah, we all rolled dark besides Zeke.
Interesting.
Part of me wants to roll roses just to see what he would have got.
Too late, I guess.
Of course.
Either way, I gotta use it this round. Anyways, I didn't get a chance to get a map up. I don't know if I'll ever get too many more chances to do this. Overtime is going to be hitting really, really hard. So, if it's something major like another planet, I'll try to rush as best I can. But until then, it's pretty much going to be theater of mind. I do apologize, everyone, but it's kind of how we're going to have to roll right now. At least until I can get some more spare time.
As an alternative, if it's a case of just designing the map, and you can give me a general concept of what you're looking for, I can take a bash.
Okay.
To be continued offline. In the meantime, where was everyone? I think
On a station.
And Pitt. Well, yes, I'm trying to remember specifically.
Leo and Pith found Borgil in the merchants area.
Yeah, and they were having some conversations around the morality of using children. Where had Desric and Illy were together? They were going to, I don't know, the merchant shops or to a cantina? I don't remember.
We were not going to a cantina. We were going to a merchant shop.
Oh, come on now. Never let me have any fun.
Okay, so both parties are in a merchant shop, though in different locations. As for Merez and Rose, they're back at the Skylark.
Okay, good deal. And if memory serves, they haven't told anyone about their individual plan.
Nope.
Okay.
And right, we went overboard, or not overtime last time, because I really wanted to get Borgil to be displayed. I couldn't get his voice down. I do have it in my head, but it's kind of hard to do. However, since they took the scene last time, we're going to hop back over to Illy and Desric. So, you're winding your way around. You're obviously seeing kids around. The youngest kids you see working seem to be in their teens. The younger kids generally just run around playing or maybe assisting some of the older kids. You maybe family or friends. But there is a lot of traffic from adults back and forth. Not just traders, but going back and forth between ships, maintenance, and things like that. This station, even though it's out in the middle of nowhere, seems to be somewhat important. You finally make your way to the merchants area. And there are shops set up, there's stands, kiosks, all kinds of stuff. And you got spacers just going back and forth between all of them. You do seem to have a few families here and there. But each of them are set up to be something different.
Cool. All right. Well, Ellie's still kind of beside herself, dealing with the significant presence of younger folk around in this station doing various jobs. That's definitely caught her off guard.
It's a little unsettling, isn't it?
Just a touch.
Wonder if they have a lot of problem with runaways. I mean, for all the adults around, there doesn't seem to be a lot of supervision.
Well, if you're on a space station, where can you really go?
Clearly, you've never hidden aboard a spaceship before. Or played hide and seek around one.
Hide and seek, certainly.
Kids can get all
Sharon's,
sorts of places in a starship they were never intended to be.
Sharon's very good at it. But what I meant was, you can't get off the station.
There's ships. There does seem to be plenty of traders. Desert kind of motions around to the families and spacers passing through.
True.
My point was more, how would they even know?
I have no idea. Keeping track of one can be hard enough.
I imagine so. Not that I'm in any hurry to find out. But, well, I guess we should think about resupplying.
Agreed. At the very least, I can get a head start on long-range comms. Get some parts for it.
That sounds like a plan.
I suppose we'll be waiting on the others to get a proper assessment of the hyperdrive. But at the very least, I can get a head start on the comm.
The weapon systems probably need replaced as well, but I don't know even where to begin on prioritizing. I think engines and the hyperdrive are the most important, but comms.
We do need to be able to
Sensors.
get places. We also need to be able to talk to people, specifically certain businessmen.
Yes. Fair point. All right. So I guess we'll look for a tech dealer first.
All right. So yeah, we'll take a look around.
Perception checks.
Dang it. Oh, actually, maybe I don't quite suck at it.
And one setback due to the fact that it is quite crowded.
So is the perception check to look for the dealer or a specific part?
To find someone who seems to be selling the techs.
Okay. I just have a skill set for finding goods, so I was just trying to figure out would that apply.
Oh, what's it say specifically?
So I have 3 ranks in Know Somebody, and basically once per session when attempting to purchase a item or a legally available item, its rarity is reduced by each rank of Know Somebody. So if we're looking for like
Yeah.
rare tech or hard to come by stuff, I can. I didn't think it quite applied in this situation, but I just checking.
Not this one. You haven't actually gone to the shop dealer and started browsing. Right now, you're just looking for someone who seems to be selling what you're looking for.
Okay. 3.1.
Illy.
Illy is 2.1.
Of course. So, you're trying to weave your way through the crowd. With the kiosks out in the middle of the area, it's a good open hallway or area. Words.
No worries.
Okay, so think of a giant hallway, all right? It's a grand hallway. You have kiosks on either side, and there are actual rooms where bigger shops are set up. It does eventually circle around the station, but with the kiosks and them drawing crowds and them, doing some crazy stuff to get attention, you're weaving and bobbing your way through here. It is hard to see. You do think you spot a tech merchant here or there, but it turns out to be like not ship parts. Generally planet side tech and parts. So gardening, things like that. You make your way through. You still haven't figured out where you can find one.
Wait, seriously? With a 3 success, I couldn't find one?
I got a 3-1.
Great. Okay, can I make a street smarts check to like look at the layout and figure out where the most likely place for like either ship parts or a tech merchant would be?
Actually, hold on. Let me take a look at a sheet. You mean a streetwise?
Yeah, sorry. Street smarts is my perk. Yeah, streetwise check.
Okay. Right ahead.
I remove 1 setback from all streetwise checks. Two.
You keep your eyes open and your ears sharp. You can't find anything, but you do see someone coming by with not a browser, obviously a customer. Walking by with an actual high-tech ship part. Trying to think what it was. Looks like he's got something for modifying his astrogation computers.
Ah, well, I haven't found a merchant, but that did you identify whether there's a young man, young woman, old person, alien?
An older Rhodian.
But that Rhodian over there is carrying around some high-end ship tech. Maybe they might know.
It's worth asking for sure.
So Desric's gonna try to approach the Rhodian without startling him. I'm assuming he's already passed me, so I'm approaching this Rhodian from behind.
Yep.
So Desert looks clear. So, excuse me, sir. I'm interested in finding some ship tech. It looks like you've managed to find the merchant. It's our first time on station. Could you point out to me where you happen to buy that fine piece of equipment?
Well, once he realizes you're talking to him, he kind of stops and turns around. It's like, yeah, this place can be a bit overbearing for the first time. Sorry, words. Overbearing a bit for the first time. Let's see. Yeah, it's actually not in a kiosk. It's in a shop. Just keep going down for about a minute in that direction. Should be the first shop on the right. It will say Gregor's, God damn it, I had the name for it and it just drops. My mind is off today.
No worries.
That's correct. Gregor's Racers.
Ah, thank you. And Desert will turn.
And he continues
we're
back on
looking-
his way.
Desert will say, so we're looking for a shop called Gregor's Racers.
All
I'm
right.
hoping Gregor is at least an adult. Otherwise, the name makes a lot more sense.
I hope you're right. And hopefully he has some parts we can use. If not, at the very least, he might know where else we can look.
Well, shall we? And Desert will head in the direction that the Rhodian gave him.
Yeah, Ilya will follow along.
Well, passing a few more kiosks and a few things like that. A lot of the traders are trying to get your attention. Whether or not you want to converse with them is your call, but you do have your destination now.
At least keeping an idle eye out at the various other traders, just kind of making a mental note of what we're passing by in case there's something that might be interesting for her to come back and take a look.
Yeah, I was actually about to say, can I make a perception check to see if Desert noticed anything interesting amongst the various traders that are vying for his attention?
You're right ahead. Perception.
Same for Illy. Illy is
Well,
one success,
that
one
sucked.
advantage, and a try.
What was
I'm
Desert's?
guessing Desric is not.
It was a triumph and it rolled over to an advantage, so I have 2 advantage and no success.
I have 3 disadvantage.
So Desric is laser brained or laser focused on the reaching the destination and paying absolutely no attention. to
He's
the people
trying
around.
to, but the only thing that's on his mind is the Skylark.
That's fair.
Your poor ship.
Let's see. You said 2 success, an advantage, and a triumph.
Well, with the triumph as a success, yes.
Yes, that's right. So 2 success, advantage, and a triumph. Let's see. You definitely see some kiosks that are, selling all kinds of things. Some selling weapons, some selling armor. Not high-grade weapons, but definitely something that can protect you on the rim easily. It will deter people. You got food on one side. You got some nice clothing on one end. Believe it or not, there's like a bouquet stand. You got all kinds of flower arrangements run by an Athorian. Let's see.
Naturally.
They love their plants.
Aw, now I want to buy Doc a plant. I just had a brilliant idea.
Mm.
This sounds like a terrible idea. What is it?
We need to buy Pith a cactus. It's the perfect plant for him.
Okay, so instead of threatening you with needles, he'll threaten to beat you with his cactus.
Or just
No,
throw it
that
at
would
you?
cause harm to the plant. He would never hurt a plant.
Oh, God.
Just do it.
I'm trying to think of something, something alien I noticed. The only thing I can think of is you do see a what seems to be a ship merchant. Obviously, he's got pictures of all kinds of ships that he has for sale. Some of them are new-ish. Some of them are refurbished older ships. That some of them seem to be from junk or hulks. But not only that, he also seems to be selling individual parts and pieces. Though the parts and pieces are definitely scavenged from wrecks and debris fields and whatnot. Interestingly enough, Illy, you see a portrait of what looks to be the Mercy. Or at least the same class.
Hey, Ellie's going to tap Desric's shoulder and head straight for that merchant.
By the way, what was the class of that ship? I completely forgot.
Barlow's class, medium freighter.
Alrighty.
So yeah, she's gonna go take a look and see if that initial impression is correct.
Desert, you follow?
Yep.
Well, at first he wasn't actually, trying to get your attention. You weren't as close to some of the others, but as he notices you're making your way towards his little stand, he starts waving over. He's standing in front of it. It's like, you seem to have an eye for some of the ships here, and he is... Crap, those four-armed bird people. If you've ever seen episode 2, Attack of the Clones, he's the one Obi-Wan goes to see in that cantina when he's trying to Yeah, Basilisk, that's it.
They're frogs.
Okay, gotcha.
Really? Because it said in the book that they're birds. They're avian.
No, the frog.
Okay, weird.
At least that's what I refer to them as because of their frog chins.
No, they may be frogs. Yeah, they do look like some kind of amphibian or reptile, but I think the book said they're birds.
That'd be odd. I mean, he may have 4 arms to flap, but I'm pretty sure that cook cannot fly.
Yeah, the female looks more bird-like, though, if I remember correctly. Gotcha. Either way.
Sudden errand.
All right, yeah. Ellie will walk up and just... Indeed.
Anything I can help you find?
I was actually wondering about that Barlaws you have there.
That. I have 2 of those. One is secondhand, but is in good shape. The other, not so much. Still runs, but needs some patchwork.
Tell me about the not so much.
Got it about a couple months back. Found it in a debris field. Let's see, where was this? Around Hoth and Besbin. Other side of the galaxy, yeah, now. But I work everywhere because you never know what you can find in some of the craziest corners of this galaxy.
It's true. There's plenty of places for things to hide.
So, were you interested in the one that actually is up to speed?
I'd be interested in hearing about both of them, to be honest.
Okay. The one that's completely fine is up to par and everything. It's got his inspection. She's running great. She's got some miles on her, but you know, all in all, she's in good shape. Last person who had it wasn't so much of a mechanic, a bit of a hoarder, and not so good at keeping things maintained himself. So he always kept giving it a maintenance run on every schedule just to make sure it runs, because he knew his own stuff, how he runs things. So it's working quite well. Now the one that's run down, it doesn't have any blaster or explosive marks on it. It seems to have run afoul of an asteroid field. Now, the hull is breached, and there's a few problems wrong with an engine here and there. The hyperdrive's working, but she pretty much had to limp her over here.
All right. Well, she's kind of taking a look around the shop. And there's spare parts, you said, as well?
Yes. But a lot of the variants are quite a wide array between multiple ships. Not enough to really do a lot of things, but all the spare parts he's only offering from his selection of ships that aren't complete.
Gotcha.
So
like
a lot of them can
cannibalized
be
bits and pieces.
cannibalized, banged up. No 100% guarantee on any of them.
Well, I'm a ways away from being able to afford a ship, partially running or otherwise, but I'm definitely interested in them. What sorts of deals could you possibly work at?
I've got to find that ship, honestly. And what did you call it again?
Barlow's class medium freighter. I don't think we have it in the actual deck by default. Let me take a look.
I'm using the one Jonas provided. I don't know if it had any more updates since the last time he handed it to me. Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
I put it in Discord. It's comparable in price and specs to the YT13 series. So if you want to just base it stat and
Where did you
spec-wise
get
off
that from?
Wikipedia.
Ah.
Yeah, it's like an competitor's production, I believe. Right?
It's another Carillion. I don't remember which manufacturer.
Yeah, it's Corellian. It's
Carillion Engineering
basically
Corporation. It's the predecessor to the YT series.
Exactly.
Ah.
Not the YT 1300, the YT series. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty old.
When Ellie said upon seeing your ship that she hadn't worked with anything so new, she meant it.
Yeah, now I just need to get the stats on it.
I think I can track those down. I'll work on that. If yeah, give me a quick. Because I didn't find anything as far as stuff on this table, but I did find some data for it in Ogdude's character creator. So I'll generate an asset for that and then
Okay.
import it here.
Okay, so on that note, we'll hold that conversation there and that scene, and we'll transition over to Leo and Pith with Borgil.
Ah, yes. Okay.
I don't remember the exact conversation we were having last we left off. I know we did mention the children.
He had mentioned his relations to the hut and how Leo was surprised that he hasn't been killed off by now, because usually huts kill off those that don't conform to the not necessarily criminal enterprises.
Yes, to which he stated that he is a Republic citizen.
Yeah.
And Leo criticized, well, the Republic's not here.
Pretty much, yeah. That being said, what kind of store does Borgil run?
It's not a single commodity. It is multiple commodities. You do see, your high-tech parts, but these can range from personal devices, home devices, minor shipped stuff.
Is he a pawn shop?
Pawn shop?
Yeah.
You would think, because there are jewelry and things like that, but no one has asked him.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm sort of looking around, and he goes, I'm looking for some supply on top of the as for the Skylark. I was wondering if you could help me, Borgil.
Ah, yes. What kind of supplies are you looking for?
I need droid part.
Huh, yeah, I've got quite a few of that. Any particular part? Or are you looking for repair parts?
I'm looking for repair parts, but these will be significant. There is a droid in our possession that I wish to rebuild.
Okay, you said significant, and then there's a droid to be repaired. Was there something after that significant?
The parts will be significant. I have a droid in our possession that needs repair.
Okay, just wanted to make sure you didn't cut off. Ah, okay. What type of droid?
Leo is slowly looking over at Peth.
Pith looks back at him. Yes, we've actually found an old protocol droid back on, Terrace. Really old, like before the bombing, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. Borgil's kind of staring. His mouth is slightly ajar. Wow, a relic. Oh, that's exciting. Well, if you can give me the height, specs, and general look, I think I could find something that would work. Now, the electronic parts may be a bit touchy, but we can find something.
Dr. Piff trusts you, so I do as well. Do not take advantage of this trust. I believe the droid in question is an assassin droid.
He kind of slides back a bit. I think you're better off with the smelter we have down in Bay 12.
Normally, I would agree. However, situations elsewhere in the galaxy are leading me to believe that I need some back.
And he's kind of looking back and forth between you and Pith. He is definitely uncomfortable with this.
Dr. Piff, assuming that I can gain the droid's trust, it will follow me.
Well, it does have a restraining bolt on. Is an assassin droid even affected by a restraining bolt?
Not if it has certain circuits within itself. Speaking of, that is something that I do wish for myself too, but that is another matter entirely.
I'm willing, but I need a favor.
Are you asking the favor of me?
You're the one who wants to build it.
Very well. What is the favor?
Those pirates I told you about?
Indeed.
I either need them gone or some way to know what their plans are. You're not a battle droid, but I have a feeling you may know someone who could take care of that.
That I do. You'll have to transfer any and all information that you have regarding the pirates, and I'll work on it from there.
I'll give you those within the hour.
Appreciate it.
Now, at least let me see what parts you need. Or at least you'll think you'll need. You know what, better yet, we can go on a tour on that. He points back into the back room. That compartment is where I keep all the droid components.
Of course, if you have a datapad, I can transfer my designs.
Eli! You hear something clink in the back, and runs out about 12-year-old boy. Yeah, these gentlemen will be needing some droid parts. Get your datapad, follow them, and let them tell you what they need, or hand the datapad to them and let them find what they need. Yes, sir. He looks back to you. Everything will be taken care of there.
Of course. How much will this? Well, on top of the droid parts, we do need parts to repair the Skylark. Otherwise, we will be stuck on this station for a good while.
Well, if you're needing that much in the way of credits for the parts, your ship's gonna be here for a while. Anyways, I'll take care of the... I'm loading something in.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. I'll take care of the cost for the Skylark. And if you can do something about the pirates, the droid parts will be free, and I'll deduct that from what you need for your ship. Beyond
Of
that,
course.
there are always someone who needs jobs around here. Not all of them violent.
Of course, and if I couldn't get any work using my own skills, that I will do. In regards to the pirates, how would you prefer them dealt with?
They're pirates. They're a scourge to everyone, but I'm very afraid for this station, so do as you will.
Very well.
Is there, any other business we have?
Other than I could do with some personal supplies that I can pay for myself.
Well, if they're personal supplies, I'm assuming they're droid parts, so tack them onto the list there, and just could have put a mark beside them for what are for you.
Of course. Since I had a hard time finding this place, might I download a schematic for the station for my system?
Yes, he points over to a terminal. That terminal has access to the entire station, map, layout, communications if you need to call emergency services. No HoloNet, though, not from that terminal.
The HoloNet I will not need access to until I start hunting these pirates. Okay, so Leo goes over and downloads a map of the station.
And you now have the map of the station. It is actually quite large, and believe it or not, there are homes aboard this station that are not just for the orphanage.
Okay then. Leo looks over at Bolgo and goes, "How does the orphanage maintain it?"
Well, for a while it was me maintaining the station and whatnot. It still kind of is. I bring in a lot of merchants here. I also, gift the orphanage some money from time to time. Basically when I can afford it. So money-wise, we're not doing too bad. A lot of the traders do bring in parts that we need to repair a lot of the station, and like I said, had to rehire security. All in all, the only thing that the orphanage is really short in supply on is more staff for themselves, for the kids. Right now, a lot of the older kids are pretty much having to look after some of the younger ones. A lot of orphans have been coming here, and there's just not enough people.
Does the Empire come here?
On occasion, but not so much to buy, more to inspect the area and harass me.
So they do not have an active garrison on the station?
No. We have a room reserved for them when they come, but they're not here for more than a few hours.
And in terms of people fleeing the Empire, refugees as it were, ones that aren't necessarily aligned to the rebellion, would they be accepted here?
Yes, but that will get complicated. There's not too many places to hide them.
Perhaps, though, if, hypothetically speaking, there were refugees, they could very well just be here for a short time before safe harbor is located elsewhere.
Yes, we offer protection to those who need it.
Leo looks over at Piff and goes, "A potential for certain friends, yes?"
It would appear so.
Dr. Piff.
Did that not come through?
Did what not come through?
I said, to answer your question, he said, it would appear so.
Yeah, they did go through. And then he looks between them and then looks to Beth and goes, "My business for the time being is concluded here. Do you wish to remain here or do you have need elsewhere?"
For the time being, I don't have need out. I don't have to be anywhere else. I would like to catch up with my friend.
Then I will go and find Desric and Miss Ileana. Feel free to stay here as long as you wish.
Okay, sorry, I was sending something in Discord. All right, so you said you're heading back where again?
I'm going to head to find Desmond and Miss Ileana.
All right. So now that you have this map and the locator, the beacon you generally put on everyone else, there is a limit to the range, but you are getting a vague idea where they are, and it's not too far from you. It's outside of the radar range, but not too far from you. I think. I don't remember how far that range went.
I think it'd be more than enough to cover.
I was about to say it's the
Station.
range of the comms unit, so because he's
Okay.
tracking us via comms, it's not radar.
Yes,
so
yes,
as long
yes,
as
yeah,
we're
yeah,
within
that's
comms
right.
range-
Yeah, you're within comms range, so
Yeah, so Leo is just going to start heading that way. Actually, no. Actually, no, I'm not. Leo is going to go to the orphanage, assuming that they've got a headquarters.
they do have a headquarters. Obviously, one of the biggest ones is the command station for the station.
Yeah.
But they also have like a place where people can go to either, say I found an orphan, or hey, I'd like to adopt, or something like that. They have that office.
That's the option that I would be looking for. I'm not interested in going to the command center.
All right, it is one floor up, and not too far from you, actually. The lift to get there is a few minutes walk. So it's not going to take you too long, but now that Lance is... Lance, you did find what you were looking for, right?
Yep, it's right by your GM screen. Might have to
Oh, it's also right by your car.
scale it up a bit.
I believe a bit is an understatement.
Yeah.
It's got more of a hold, I think, than the Skylark.
Yeah, but given the size difference between them, I don't think it's enough of an increase. I was gonna have a chat with you about that because the
Size?
Skylark holds 165.
Well, they're
Yeah,
both
I've
still
got
at
less
4.
cargo. It depends because it has at least according to the Wikipedia stats, it's got.
Oh, this one
85
has
metric ton.
170 encumbrance.
Wow, that's a lot.
Well, Skylark has 165.
Exactly. Which,
Yeah.
if you look at it on the surface, the Skylark is one deck with a few different areas of freight, whereas the Barlaw's 2 out of 3 decks is mostly freight. So
Okay.
yeah,
So, yeah, and the YT does have a much higher passenger capacity. So I guess they didn't really design the Barlows for anything other than freight.
I mean, yeah, not to mention the YT also has better hyperdrive rating.
There's also different variants of each. This
actually
could be...
sorry, go
Let's say this could just be reflecting one variant poorly, like a passenger variant for the encumbrance value.
Could be. I remember looking at other non Edge of the Empire based stats, and I remember thinking that, comparatively speaking, the amount of cargo that the Barlaws could hold was actually less than the YT, which never, it didn't make sense to me. So I think it's probably a case where the stats were figured using two different sets of rules and thereby had two different values as a result.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like the Barlaws is specified as being a no frills freighter, so it's designed to haul stuff.
Yeah, we'll boost up its cargo capacity because that's a tiny encumbrance for what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I figure that's probably something we can tackle after the stream.
Yeah.
But for the purposes of just having the general stats, that's basically what we'd be looking at.
All right. So you were asking about price and what he's willing to help you with.
Yeah, that sort of thing. I mean, we obviously don't have enough credits to just go ahead and buy one.
Let's see. Barlaw's Freighter, brand new. You can usually buy them for about 100K. This one's used. Considering how long I've had it for, 65K.
That's a fairly good deal from where I sit. Like I said, unfortunately, we don't have the credits. But how do you feel about holding on to this until we can resolve that issue?
Well, I've had it for quite some time, so it should be here. And in case someone offers, I'll tell them I already have someone who's looking into it, but I can't wait too long. As he waves, one of his four hands up.
What kind of timeline do you think?
Well, for no down payment, I can give you about a month. If you want to throw a little bit down, I can tack on to that.
All right.
Desert's gonna come up and kind of tap Illy on the elbow. Miss Sabaray, we still have one ship in need of repairs. Perhaps we ought to see to repairing it before purchasing another ship in need of repairs.
Yes, I'm aware. Thank you. I was about to bring up that very point, actually. I'm sorry, sir, I didn't catch your name before.
Avark.
Sorry, what's that?
Avark.
Advark.
No D. Avark.
Avark. Okay,
Yes.
very good. Avark. Emiliana. And we are looking for additional parts for another ship. What do you have, or do you know of any merchants that may have parts compatible for a YT-1300?
Well, good thing about a YT is it can take parts from almost anything. If you're looking for new or as close to new as you can get, there's a... God damn it, I forgot the shop's name again. The one I was sending you to.
Gregor's Races.
Yeah.
Borgil's Racers, right down the way, but...
Gregor?
Gregor. Gregor, actually. It's been a crazy day. Shut up.
No worries.
Okay, yeah, Gregor's Racers down the way sells new to, slightly used, still in really, really good shape. And a lot of it is high quality, high tech, more than new stuff. Though it's a little on the pricey side. Here, if it works, I sell it. I try to keep it in good order, but it's on the lower end. Granted, it's cheap. So. And it's
Alright.
also rarely new. Like the higher tech stuff, it's more the old tech. But yeah, I've got some stuff that should fit an old whitey.
Alright. Well, old is what I'm comfortable with. And if it's only partially working, I can usually get it the rest of the way. Desmond,
Yes, Miss Sabre.
if you wouldn't mind checking up on some of the newer equipment, see if you can find a baseline price. I'll see what we can put together here.
Of course, ma'am. And Desric will head off.
Thank you.
So I guess I'm making my way down to Gregor's Racers. And just for the record, completely splitting the party, nothing ever could go wrong.
Hey, we're on a station. It ought to be perfectly safe.
Imperial Raid!
How many dark side points does he have?
More than enough.
Great. Nothing could possibly go wrong with this plan.
Stop feeding the GM. Just say it.
The GM is starving.
Hey, you started this. And that was directed at Lance.
You could have said no, but it's all good.
Yeah, arguing with my employer. Great plan.
He doesn't know it.
And it's never stopped you before.
Yeah, well, that was when you worked for me. We're keeping up appearances here. Anyways. Ship place. New fancy ship place. What do I find?
Well, you walk in, and as the name suggests, it seems to be really trying to get a lot of attention, particularly from those generally who need to have some speed. Not necessarily smugglers, but definitely for racers. There's a lot of high-tech parts, a lot of modified parts and tools to modify further. That said, there's also the section to where you have, your normal parts. But again, it's high tech. This seems to be, if you kind of see the motto in there. It's like, you want a ship for life, you want your parts for life. So, get the best of the best while you can, and don't ever have to, replace it for a long time.
Real quickly, I'm looking at my sheet for the Skylark, and we never called out comms separate from sensors. When we say the comms array is out, I assume that includes the sensor array, or no?
No.
Okay, so I need to add a new line. So I know there's actually quite a bit of stuff we need. And as I'm looking around, do I see that prices are marked anywhere, or that there's a kiosk or a catalog, or is this kind of one of those places where if you have to ask, you can't afford it?
There are prices marked down, and yeah, they're pricey. That said, there are still catalogs showing all kinds of ships, parts, and where to place them, what they do, why they matter, kind of catalog thing. Like I said, it's a shop that's inside. It's not one of those outside kiosks or stands or whatever. You do see some people walking around, customers and employees alike.
Okay, so I guess I want to make a perception check. I'm looking for a couple specific things for the Skylark. I'm looking for comms equipment. We never did get a power distributor, right?
Nope.
I don't believe so.
So comms, power distributor. Desric, of course, is thinking about weapons. Do we do anything with the engines, or do we just repair the engines we have?
Both.
Yeah. All right. So I'll look for engine components as well.
All right, take a roll.
Well, crap. 1.1.
Okay,
My
what is
rolls
with
are
me and
terrible.
you rolling the same damn thing?
That happens no matter how I seem to roll. It seems every episode.
I was gonna say it's standard procedure.
Yeah, at this point for Desric, that's way more common than not.
Well, you're looking around, but you're taken aback by just what's in this place. And
Ooh, shiny.
yeah, there are neon lights over each one, different here and there. And while you're trying to keep your mind on, repairing the Skylark, all these parts, you just can't help but, ooh, if I had that, ooh, this would be so much better. You're having a hard time dealing with the need to upgrade your baby, not just fix her. And you
Yeah.
eventually get a little lost in that.
Try not to drool on the merchandise.
So, while Desric is doing that, Illy. Illy.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna switch to Leo. Yep, Illy's still looking for basically keeping an eye out for compatible parts and a decent price range. And we'll do a little bit of comparison once Desmond is finished.
Well, he throws a catalog, list of everything he's got. You're going for communications array first, right?
That's right. Communications, and that's kind of where she's looking to start. The engines and the hyperdrive, at least for the moment, most of the assessment, I believe, was going to be done by the ground crew. So she's kind of waiting on.
All right, so he turns it on the catalog and types in YT1300 compatible, and then he lists them in order from best condition to lowest condition and all the price ranges. But you see a lot of different comms. I'd say about 50 different comms in total, ranging from the standard the base comms that the YT usually has, all the way down to more of a subpar but still usable, and the price ranges from say about 3K down to 500 credits. Though the one that's 3K is the one that's at the top of the list. It is actually pulled from a YT, and only the ship was damaged, not the array, and it's virtually brand new.
That is rare.
That is very rare. Pirate raid. They were going straight for the cargo hold and the engines. I think they misfired and something blew up, and that part of the YET just kind of flew off.
Hopefully the crew is okay.
That is an unknown. We didn't see any escape pods in the YT, so we were assuming they got out, but we put out an alert. But from what we could tell, the debris was old. Not old, but a couple weeks old. So
I take it most of your salvage comes from incidents here in the system?
as of recently, yes. Usually it's pretty much all over this galaxy.
So you've had more than a few pirate raids then?
Yeah. As of recently, yeah, Borgil did something to piss the Hutts off. And the pirates have been picking up.
Any particular group?
Don't know. They came to the station once in unmarked vehicles, or unmarked vessels. Since then, not too many have been seeing it and coming back alive.
I see. Sounds like I might need to talk to Borgo later.
Yeah. He was the old owner of this place until he sold it to the orphanage.
I'm kind of curious about that. Honestly, I'm still playing catch up. So this place is basically run by an orphanage.
On the surface, yeah, but Borgil, with his experience, does a lot of assistance.
And his assistance has pissed off the Hutts.
I don't know what has pissed off the Hutts. All I know is it has to do something with Borgil. But knowing Borgil, probably the fact that he doesn't deal with the Hutts.
I've never met him. What can you tell me about him?
Believe it or not, he's a good guy. Keeps his nose clean. Keeps the kids here safe. When they grow into their teens, he hires them around, pays them, teaches them, what it's like to live in the real world. He allowed the orphanage, to, live here pretty much free of charge. So he's got a good heart, which is surprising.
Why do you say that?
Well, when you meet him, you'll see, but either way, you don't see that too much this time.
Right. So, reserve judgment. Fair enough. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to be looking at that the one along the top there. I'll have to check in with our ship's captain, see what he's got on the line as well. Ship does have a fair bit of work to be done. I'm still waiting on some damage reports, but in the end we have to fit everything into a budget.
Understandable. There are jobs to take around if you ever need some extra cash. I could use some delivery work personally, but unfortunately that's off station. Beyond that, I'm pretty sure Borgil would pay quite well to get those pirates taken care of. Not to mention, everyone here would be in your debt.
Well, sounds like Borgil may be our very next stop then. We'll see what we can do.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. She'll take a few steps back and access her comm and call Desert.
Takes a while for him to pick up. Actually, hold on.
I'm confused.
Desert, roll your cool.
My cool, huh? Oh dear. What is my cool?
And since it is your obligation, one of those will be red.
Okay, 2.4.
Well, you half rolled something I did. I got 2-2, so.
So failure with advantage?
Failure with 2 advantage. You're still drooling.
Oh, okay.
And it becomes vaguely aware that that beeping is you. And then it's not you, it's your comms. But that is a nice hyperdrive you're staring at.
Ah, right. So do I actually notice my comms going off? Finally?
Yes, eventually. And then the
Hey,
leather cockpit seat right behind you.
You wouldn't believe the stuff they have here.
Well, I guess that depends. What did you find out as far as price?
What? Price? It's expensive.
Yes, we're looking for engine components, communications equipment, the important things, right?
But the new hyperdrive.
You do have a price, don't you?
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry. Yeah, I'll call you back.
Oh, but, oh, bloody. All right. Do you mind if we put this on hold? I'll be back as soon as I can.
I'm pretty sure it was already put on hold.
All right, fair enough. She is going to try and find the high-end store.
Doesn't take you too long. Leo, you are standing right in front of the orphanage office.
Yeah. So he goes in.
You go in, and it's a nice roomy area. It's got some lounges for people to sit at, fill out some paperwork. There is a Togruta female at the front desk.
Okay. So yeah, he goes up to the desk.
1 second. Just got a file. There. Sorry about that. Oh, a droid. Are you the one we called? Yeah. Are you the one that's supposed to come by and do some maintenance?
No, that is not me.
My apologies.
I wish to make a donation.
She kind of cocks her head. Donation?
To the orphanage.
Well, gladly accepted. It's just interesting that a droid come by to do that. Is this on behalf of your master?
No, this is on behalf of myself.
Oh, well, that's interesting. 1 second. She grabs the data pad, types her stuff in, and passes it to you. Just type in the amount and swipe a cred chip.
Yep. So he he's sort of standing there, and she could probably see like a compartment slide out of his chest cavity, and he pulls out the credit chip. He plugs in and goes, 500 credits will suffice.
One
surely?
problem: you don't have a cred chip. You've
Yes, I
been
do.
so far. How? You've been so far paid in coins.
Oh, was it coins that I got?
Yeah. Hard currency is harder to track than digital currency.
Oh, then out comes the 500 credits that he's going to be giving. And she goes, unfortunately, I do not have a credit chip as it stands, but I do have currency.
Huh, okay. 1 second. She pulls it back. Types a few things in, presses a button on her table. You see a camera pop up with a recorder. For the purposes of physical currency, we have a recorder and a pad stating how much you're giving as a donation. This is, to make sure the donations go to the correct spot, and if you wish for a copy of it, we can hand you.
I do not require a copy.
Okay. And she passes the data pad over. Just type in the amount you're giving in physical coins, hit authorize, and she slides over a jar. Just or not a jar, but a kind of one of those like coin deposit boxes.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, she passes over there. And here is the deposit box.
And he reaches over and puts in 500 credits.
And you type in how much you put in as well?
Yep.
Okay. And she takes it all back and sets it down. Thank you very much. The children will be very appreciative of it. Was there anything else I could do for you?
That being said, you did say that you required some maintenance.
Yes. There is some type of electrical discharge. It's not large enough to cause any damage, but it does cause power fluctuations around in here. We're not entirely sure where exactly it is.
If you will allow me to access your power relays, I will be able to locate the surge.
Oh, okay. This way, please. And she comes out from behind the desk, walks over to this room onto the side, opens it up, and she walks in.
He follows after her.
As you come in, you see that it's a maintenance closet. It's definitely not any power plant or anything that's particular for this place. It's basically a thing that's showing circuits, where they are, how the power's flowing, all that stuff you need to figure out where you need to go for the maintenance of this area. And if there's any maintenance to be done here, you can regulate it, power-wise there.
Okay. So that's what I'll do. I'll plug into that system and see whether I can reroute it around the power surge so that they aren't dealing with power failures, and then they can just replace replace the damaged parts with functioning parts.
All right. As this is a maintenance work, please roll your maintenance. And do you have anything that reduces difficulty, or is it just black die?
Wait. This is mechanics, right?
Yes.
Then I don't have anything that affects these rolls.
Okay.
Besides, no, actually, no, I don't. That's computers, never mind. Uh, 2 success, 1 triumph, and 4 advantage.
Was that 2 success with the success from triumph?
Yeah.
So 2 success, triumph, and how many advantage?
4.
Okay, so you hop in, and you can see where the power is being drained. It is a small area that seems to have taken a little bit of damage. You're unsure of what because you're not physically looking at it. That said, you try to reroute it, and you do reroute it, but there's a sudden power drain, and everything goes off, kicks back on. Some of the power has been rerouted around it, but it still persists in making a drain. You look it up, and you figure out where exactly it's at.
Yeah, he looks over and goes, I have found the location of the power surge.
Oh, okay. I'll take you to it if it's in this facility.
He describes the location of it based on the data he's...
Okay, and she takes you to the place, and it's back inside the facility itself. You're walking through, and it seems to be like it's not like the orphanage outside. It's not as decorative and welcoming. This is more like base station. No decoration. It's just as is. She takes you back to where it's at and states that this area is still technically part of the orphanage, but it's actually now a pathway leading to another location that's pretty much authorized personnel only. And she points at the wall location, the wall area that you had described, and said that is the panel that needs to be removed to get to where you need to be.
I see. Currently, I do not have the tools on me necessary to get through it. I don't suppose the orphanage has a janitor's closet of any kind? Usually they'll leave some tools behind.
We do have a toolkit.
If you could get me the toolkits, that will suffice.
She leaves for a second, comes right back, and she hands you a toolkit. It is very, very basic. It looks like it's going to be a little difficult, but you can make do with what you have.
Yeah. There goes, perfect. I will get to work. He sort of looks over at her and goes, who has access to this area?
This is all station person. Ow. My alarm clock just fell on my foot. This is basically a authorized personnel only, so pretty much a station staff. Some of the kids can come back here, pretty much the ones on maintenance duty. though they have to be supervised because this is a high-powered area. Unfortunately, we don't have very much in the way of maintenance here, so we have to make do where we can. But beyond that, it's mostly just used as a quick shortcut to some of the areas.
How much power is being drained?
It's like, really, it's just this facility in this immediate area that's affecting it. It doesn't go that far, so it's something just to deal with this position. Shouldn't be too much power right there, but with the leak, you never know.
Have I seen how much power is being drained?
Yes.
How much is it? Like,
It's not super significant, but it's also in a position to where, like, say someone was illegally tapping it, they could draw a ton of power if they wanted to.
that's what I'm think. That's what I was thinking. Am I able to tell with the amount of power that was being drained?
The amount of
This
power
could
that was
be
being
illegal?
drained suggests that it's leaking, like something wasn't either A, connected right, or B, there is a fault in the wire or whatever.
Okay, so it doesn't look suspicious at the moment.
At the moment, no.
Okay, so yeah, Leo is getting to remove that panel and seeing what's been.
You remove the panel, and you see the whole circuit board, but the one position in question, it's like there is something there that's not supposed to be there, like a connection port. There is no way to access this thing directly, but you don't know offhand what this is. But you know it's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, he's staring a bit, and he looks over at the Togruta and goes, "Given this is an electrical field, and I'm a droid, I will be able to handle any surges. I would, however, step back just in case."
With that, she goes back probably farther than you would have suggested, but safe than sorry.
Yeah. No, he doesn't blame her, and he's gonna try and figure out what this could possibly be.
It's not a large item. It's a big box. If you look at your hand, your actual physical hand, you could grab it a bit with your fingers and wrapped around it just a little bit. It is decent size, but it's not big. It is rectangular. It is not cubical, and it is jacked in. It's got the wire that is the issue jacked into it, and it's jacked into where this wire is supposed to be. So it's in between the thing, and it's causing some sort of issue.
Okay. He's sort of looking over it, and he's just like, "I'm going to try and remove its casing. See whether I can get a look at its inner workings."
Do mechanics roll.
I'm assuming this is going to be pretty difficult, given its. I imagine the tools that I'm working with aren't fine. 2, 4, 5 success to advantage.
All right. You're worried about the tools not being, up to par, and this thing is still live. That said, it was actually quite easy.
Yeah, I don't want to remove it because, for all I know, this could very well be an explosive. I just want to take off the casing to see what's inside.
You took off the outside panel. It was actually quite simple, and you take a look inside. It seems to be some type of monitoring device.
Huh. Interesting. Can I see any sort of markings on it?
Nope, no markings. It's just a plain box.
Are there any ports on it? Like, if,
Just
like, say, for example,
the 2 power ports, but the interface is digital.
it's digital. It is at this point that I'm cursing that I don't have the implant that boosts my intellect, because that gives me access to wireless communications with computers. I do not have that. Hmm. Yeah, so he's looking over at the Togruta and he goes, if I remove this, I could very well short out the entire system. And he goes, for whatever reason, this seems to be a monitor device.
Huh. That's disconcerting.
I have a strong recommendation to contact your superior.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get right on that. I'm gonna go to the comms. And she walks back to where the front end is. And you are pretty much left here.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch it because that seems to be a really bad thing to do in this case, especially given how much power is going through this. I could very well end up getting thrown across a room so, of an explosion. What I'm going to do, however, is I'm going to place the panel back on. Not the panel, the casing back onto the device.
Alright. No need to roll for that.
Yeah.
Casing is back on.
And now I'm going to wait. Because
Alright.
whilst he is curious about the object, Leo just doesn't have the tools to work with it.
May I suggest a quick break in the near future?
Oh wow, it's 7.
Yeah.
How time
Yep.
flies. Okay. Quick break.
Okay. Cool.
And then we can come back and deal with the mysterious device that the droid has found.
Or go back to Des and Illy at some point. Jumping back and forth is really taking some time.
And desert drooling on ship components. Alright, bear back.
All right, see you in a few.
Ah, Jonas is back.
I'm back.
Clear. I'm liking that be right back screen there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I tried to get it the resolution into 1920 by 1080, but it doesn't want to. It wants to do 25 by 60.
That's
Or
fine.
2560 by 1080. Yeah, so it's coming up on the sides. So, for those in chat... There we are. What you see is a culmination between Lance and his friend Sergio. Lance did, you know, the YT in the background, the animated scene. He popped all that into Unity, and the character portraits were done by Sergio. They are brilliant. They are beautiful. He's actually been inspired to draw some of these characters. Lance knew about it for a while, but he finally got a lot of them up, or all of them up. These are not the full-size portraits. They're actually in the game. Let me... Beep. Me back. So we have like Desert here, his full size. It is 2D, but that's the limitation of tabletop. It's quite well done. No one there. Let's go see Rose.
Lance is back.
Got a cool little look. There's the vibro sword. I do like the over-the-shoulder look with the cape. That is awesome. Leo. Now, Leo's got it. It really does have an interesting one because it does look like he's got some B1 legs.
Yep.
With the normal protocol droid top and all that. And he even has his little blaster scar, if you can see it right there. Very, very well done. And Miss Illy, who is... Okay, that's why she was white. There's a glare from where the light's coming from. Our blaster of wind. Our awesome little wrench. Very, very well done. This will not be the last we see from him because there is something he's done for me that the group eventually will see, and I do so hope everyone really likes it because I think it came out absolutely amazing. So Sergio, thank you. And I know the whole shout out thing we've been talking to you about, but this is awesome, man. You truly deserve it. Do some more awesome stuff because that's exactly who you are. Do it.
Fully agreed.
All right. With the awesomeness shown and displayed, we are just missing Overkill, right?
I'm back.
Huh. Right on time.
Oh,
Alright, let me
I've
get
been
my
back.
chats up.
I just put it in. Oh, I missed whatever you put up on stream.
Well, it was the what Lance dropped up earlier. We'll be right back.
A little Union.
Then I
Okay,
then
cool.
I pretty much showed everyone's avatar that Sergio made. So
They're so awesome.
yes, they are. Okay. Leo's waiting on someone to come by. Illy and Desric. Well, Desric's still drooling. Illy... You're going to find Desric, right?
That's right.
Now, you get inside that shop. Dudes Racers.
I believe it was Gordon.
I don't think it was
Gregor.
Gregor. Started with G.
Close enough, right?
Gregor's Racers. And you immediately see why Desric is suddenly very interested and very distracted in this place.
Yeah, so kind of walk up and Desric. No, sorry, Desmond.
By the way, you probably found him above board. Probably found him by following the puddles of drool.
Okay, I would hope I wasn't actually drooling.
Yeah, it was just a figment of speech. I'm just saying.
Yeah, anyway. Desric has half-heartedly attempted to go look for prices for things again and once again gotten distracted along the way. So he's probably next to like an open catalog looking for parts, but then there was this cool thing under the counter of the catalog he was looking at and he got distracted again.
Yeah, something that goes in the cockpit makes things a lot easier, and you can hang fuzzy dice from it.
Not gold dice?
Oh, you can make them of any color.
Never mind, you didn't get the reference.
No, I did not.
Solo.
I have not seen
Yeah.
Solo.
Well, he had the dice in the original trilogy.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were gold.
Anyway,
So yeah, Ellie will tap his shoulder.
Oh, wow. Hi. You got here fast.
I took my time.
I was looking for the prices, I swear.
All right, then what have you got?
I know it's here somewhere, and Desert like goes back to flipping through the manual.
And it's a digital manual, but or digital,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
But you're
Let's-
flipping
scrolling
pages,
through the
pressing a button,
catalog.
just flip, 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 flip. And you eventually make it to the comms devices. But it's still showing every comms device.
Is there any way to search or filter for?
Yes, you can
Parts that
filter
would be
by
compatible?
ship type.
Okay,
and all
so
kinds of other
light
stuff.
freighter.
You can even go as far as even YT and 1300 if you want.
Okay, I didn't know if their stock was going to be that big. So yeah, we'll go to the YT series.
Okay. Unfortunately, there's nothing for the 1300, but for the 2400, and if there's any higher than that as well, though it states they're compatible with pretty much all the YT series.
And do we see prices?
Lowest price is 10K.
Yeah, Ellie kind of coughs when she sees that.
You do see the specs beside it, though, and they far outrange stock, even what the YT 1300 has. Hell, stock of even what the 2400 has. These are definitely modified.
I think I'm starting to see why you're a bit distracted.
Yeah. And you haven't even seen the hyperdrive.
How much is the hyperdrive?
It might be more than the Skylark. Raven.
What is the price?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm making this up.
It is a Class 2 hyperdrive. Technically, that's meant for military only, but he has a few. They are highly modified. They are 150K.
Oh, because the YT has a Class 2 hyperdrive.
Not at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was Class 1 that was supposedly military only.
I think, yeah, one sounds about right.
Now, the interesting
Because
part
the
is...
bylaws.
The interesting part is...
Sorry.
Jade Ship technically had a Class 1, I think, or maybe it was one of the others I was looking at. But apparently they're not all strictly military or something like that. That's why I tend not to go by the stats of what it says it has in there. It's not very consistent.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that because both well, at least according to the basic stats, both the bylaws and the YT have a primary of Class 2, backup Class 12. And I think, I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at it. I think Class 1 was meant to be military only, and
Yeah, since it was
Han's
the
was like
highest.
0.5. So his was the crazy one.
So after Class 2, there's a whole bunch of like Class 1.8, Class 1, Class 0.8, Class 0.5 types.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess the Falcon had like 0.5, which was
Yeah,
Interesting.
ridiculous.
0.8 and 0.5.
He said it was 0.5 past light speed. So if he was talking about how fast she goes, that's not very fast.
Well, however it is that's supposed to work. I mean,
Yeah.
hyperspace moves at speed of plots.
Yep.
Anyway, okay. Well, we'll say it's a significant improvement, whatever it is, to the current.
We'll just
It
say
would
it's
be
like
cheaper to buy a.
yeah. We'll say it says it's class 2, but even base class is technically a 1.5.
Well, that particular price tag, we could get 2 of my old ship for that.
I didn't say it was realistic, but it's so nice.
Well, I do not disagree. I think under the circumstances, given our current financial limitations, it's probably best not to aim for top of the line.
Yeah, Desric reluctantly agrees.
We can at least fix the comms with about 3,000.
Did you? We need to search for the other parts too while we're here.
Agreed. And if we
So
can find some hookups for the hyperdrive to replace the ones we currently have, that would be a good place to start.
So Desric's going to go searching for those.
You find a lot of the high-powered energy flow and all that stuff. It's still pricey for what you believe, but it's not super overpriced like you believe that hyperdrive to be. Maybe ranging from 500 to 800k. Not K, 500, 800 credits. My bad.
Okay, so we can get some of these components. I think the priority has to be comms first. I think after comms, I'd like the power distributor. I'm torn between an Astro computer, because we just have the nav computer. We don't have an Astro macro Astro computer, or replacing the engine or replacing the weapons properly. But I think the weapons are going to be outside what we can reach right now.
Probably. And I don't know about you, but I'm not planning on getting into many firefights.
We haven't planned on getting into any so far yet. It seems like every other planet we visit, we're running from the law. Desert says that last bit a little bit more hushed.
True. And I heard a couple of things. And if they hold true, we might be getting into a fight. So, honestly, let's look into both. But if we have to fight, I'd sooner be able to shoot back with more than more than what we have.
Agreed. So did the other vendor, what was it? Avark?
Yeah, Alvark.
Avark, yes.
Did he have the like, I assume he doesn't have this broad of a selection. Did he have the hyperdrive components, or should we get like the hyperdrive components new and get like the comm components used?
Honestly, I was waiting for our friends to finish up checking out the propulsion and hyperdrive systems and get back to me with a report of what we need. I haven't asked him yet. I know about the comm system, the rest of the parts, I still have to find out.
Okay, so maybe we should touch base with Leo and swing back by the hangar before we start making any purchases.
Agreed. Although I think it's safe to say that those high power conduits would be a good investment, even if this hyperdrive doesn't need them. I do believe we plan to upgrade, yes?
Fair enough. You just thinking we spend the money on them now? Zeke, you said the power cables were like 600-800?
5 to
between
800.
between 5 and 800 for pretty much all the power distributors and tubes and whatever you need.
Okay, so a power distributor is different than the hyperlink hookups, right?
Dude, don't get me lying on
'Cause
the technical shit.
the power distributor lets you change power from engines to weapons to shields.
Yeah,
So that lets you kind of focus where you pour energy from, but the hyperdrive hookups are like what connects the fuel lines to that. Like,
yeah, basically the conduits that we have right now are slapdash at best. They're improvised and they're not going to last much longer. So getting those replaced is definitely a higher priority. The power distributor we
oh,
don't
I
have a
get you.
price. The power distributor we don't have a price for yet, but it's something that's been missing since we were on Terrace.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're not just talking about for the hyperdrive. We're talking like high strength cabling throughout the ship. We're talking about basically replacing the ship wiring with high power conduits.
Maybe I was thinking just about the hyperdrive because those are the parts that are improvised
the
right now.
power cables leading from the distributor to the engine and the hyperdrive it's fading fast because it was like an improvised thing.
Okay, so we can get those parts and then take them back to the ship bay to have those replaced while they're doing the repairs.
Yes.
All right, so then Desric needs to go work some negotiation magic with the vendor to see what we can do about the price.
You were also looking at the power distributor as well and a potential Astro computer. So with the prices for those as
Okay, so let's go make a deal. So Desric's going to look for, I guess, the patron of this particular establishment. Not patron, whatever.
You do see some employees walking around helping people, and there does seem to be
I assume kids.
no. And there does seem to be like a cashier area and whatnot.
Did you cut out, or were you explaining like?
I don't know. What's the last you heard?
There does seem to be a cashier area, and then it went quiet.
Oh, that's it.
Okay. So I guess Desric's gonna flag down the next person that looks like a salesperson. I don't know.
A floor person.
Yeah.
All right. One of them comes up. He's like, "Yes, sir. How can I help you this fine day?" He is. Oh, what was that species? A Deveronian.
Well, I'm looking to purchase some upgrades for ship internals. Notice you have a couple pieces of nice selection. I'm interested in some advanced performance power cabling, so a good quality power distributor, and if you have it, what was the third? Oh, an astromech computer, or
An
barring that,
astrogation computer.
an astrogation computer, or barring that, an astromech.
We don't do so much in droids here, but we do have astrogation computers of the highest quality. Let's see. Any particular power limits and specs you were looking for on the distributor and cables?
Well, still working on the hyperdrive upgrade, but definitely needs to be able to handle class 1 or better hyperdrive.
Class 1 or better. Those are gonna go. Yeah, we do have a regulator that can take on that. It can shunt a lot of power really quick. You can feed the beast quite simply. Running around about 820 credits.
Sounds intriguing. The power distributor and the astromech computers. What do you have for those?
Power distributor, yes, I can get something that works just as well. Since the power distributor actually shunts the power to every system on the ship, not just the ones you stated, it generally goes hand in hand with those cables at times. So, I thought you were asking about the distributor itself. That's why I put a price of 820 or whatever I put.
Well, 820 can be for the distributor then.
Yeah.
So then lines to feed the distributor and the hyperdrive. So then we'll say the
Power
distributor
cables.
was 820. Yeah, power cables to go from the distributor to the hyperdrive.
So just from distributor to hyperdrive or anywhere else?
And
This is the
engines-
Deveronian.
Oh, okay. So cables to run from the distributor to the hyperdrive, engines and shield.
Well, for those we generally charge by the foot. If you're looking for the high quality ones, there would be about 75 credit a foot.
Is there any way to like calculate that for a YT 1300 or?
Yeah, we can do
like-
that at the end.
Okay.
It's like I'll literally just throw a number up. Okay, and as for the astrogation computer, yes, we have some. Now these are on the expensive side. High tech, really important. You have to chart those destinations quickly and accurately. Those can run about 5K each.
Wait, are we talking nav computer or the astro computer? Because we have the nav computer.
Astro computer.
Okay.
The nav computer, you have to pretty much manually type in a lot of stuff, and it only helps minorly. The astrogation computer assists greatly.
Gotcha. Okay. So I don't know how much this cable is going to run, but I think Desert has enough to swing most of this. It's just a matter of negotiation. So Desert's, well, let's start with making sure we've got a compatible model. I'm flying a modified YT 1300. What do you've got that'll fit stock?
Ooh, quite the classic there. I'll have to check with what we have in the back, but I'm pretty sure we can accommodate you. If anything, YTs can take just about anything, and while we don't have something specifically for a 1300, we do have some stuff meant for the newer YTs, like the 2400.
I've flown one of those. They're quite nice, but I do have a thing for the classics.
Alrighty, if there's anything else you need to be looking for, we could head back if we're done.
I think this will do it for now, but do show me the nav computers, and I'm always looking to tinker with the ship, buy some additional components. So if we can work out a deal, I might be back in future to buy a bit more.
Will do. See, this way, he points over to an aisle. That entire place has all kinds of astrogation computers. Best to take a look over and see which one would fit your area. Modified YTs, we can get a little touchy. You gotta find, well, wherever you may have moved yours, if you've moved it, or done any other modifications on it, you gotta find something that fits exactly. So we'll leave that to you unless you want us to take a look at your ship. Until then, I will head in the back to an inventory check, and I will send a sales clerk to get everything set up. Real quick, chit or hard currency?
Always hard currency, my man.
Alright. I'll be right back.
Ellie kind of clears her throat.
He kind of stops,
Kind of,
spins on his heels at that. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, just one moment, please. Desmond.
Oh, yes, Miss Avery. And Desert walks over.
We might also be needing some more firepower, right?
Yeah, but I'm going to spend most of my budget just covering this.
If I have to make a choice between the astrocomputer and the weapons, I'd choose the weapons. I certainly wouldn't leave them off the table.
Okay. Do you think we should buy those secondhand or here? I mean, they'll have the higher firepower here, but it's going to cost.
Exactly. At the very least, I'd like to know what the price tag is.
All right. Well, let me see what I can do about working them over on the price for the nav computer. We might just pass on it for now.
All right. Has anyone said anything to you about the pirate activity around here?
No, I've heard idle chatter, but merchants always talk about pirates. We kind of hate them. You should know.
Oh, believe me, I do. I'm just wondering if that might be an angle we could use. It might at the very least help in terms of the weapons.
Ah, I see where you're going with that. Yeah, when they send over the other sales clerk, I'll see what I can do.
The Deveronian spun
Right.
around on his heels, and he's backed off to give you some privacy, but he's still there.
So Desric will finish conferring with Illy and then turn to the Deveronian. My employer makes an excellent point. There's been talk of a fair bit of pirate activity in these parts, and, well, I hate to admit it, my ship's a little underarmed at the moment. You wouldn't happen to carry stock in starship weapons, would you?
Well, at the mention of pirates in the area, his shoulders kind of drops. Like, yeah, there's definitely some pirates in the area. This facility, or at least this shop, does not deal in starfighter weapons. However, we do have a sister shop located on a different level that does. It has to be there for security purposes. They do serve quite a variety. But with the pirates in this particular area being prominent, weapons, well, I'm sure you can understand supply and demand.
Of course, of course. Well, if you could, the name of your sister shop? Desert's asking him to provide
Yeah,
him the
no,
name
I'm
and direction.
he gives you the direction. It's actually near a lot of the maintenance bays. And a lot of the hangars as well. It's on that area. It's kind of like in between all of them. As for the name, we'll come back to the name.
Okay. And then after that, Desric will send him off for the other components, and he'll go look at the Astro computers. And he'll kind of pull Illy to look with him so he can talk with her as they look.
No, Lance.
So much for the angle and the weapons. They don't deal them here. I
True,
see
but
your
we could
point about. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, we could certainly check in with the other shop. I mean, at the end of the day, if we can't stay here for long. But if we could make a dent in this pirate activity, maybe we could make a case with this dealer to borrow some weapons for that purpose.
It's not a terrible plan, or perhaps with Pith's friend himself, if he's the unofficial owner of the station. I'm sure they'd be very grateful to be rid of the pirates.
Agreed. At the same time, I wouldn't want to wear out our welcome. We'll have to be cautious in how we approach this.
Tread lightly. I'll copy that. Well, spending a few credits and earning a little bit of goodwill can't do anything to hurt our reputation. Let's at least make sure we grab the power distributor and the cables for now. Let them know we're not buyers, or let them know we're buyers and not pirates.
Agreed. I'll go back and speak with Avak about that comm system. Get that installed.
Do you have enough credits for it?
Yeah, it's about 3,000. I've got enough.
All right, I'll hold off on the nav computer for now. Stall. See, I need to go back to make sure it'll fit properly.
Agreed. And if you don't mind, once the comm system is up and running, I'd like to contact the businessman and let him know what we know.
In theory, I don't object, but Leo raised a good point. It might not be a good idea to let him know we're coming with the part, rather just to show up with the artifact and demand your daughter back. If he is planning to double cross us, giving him advance warning may make things worse.
While that is true, I don't disagree. I'd sooner trust the businessman than his boss. But the longer we keep them waiting in the dark, the less patient his boss is likely to be.
I hear you, Illy. I think as soon as we're ready to go, we can make the call. But it might be premature to contact him before we can even fly out of here.
That's a fair point.
Just
there's...
think it over. It's up to you. It's your daughter. I'm certainly not going to tell you what to do. Just... I'll have your back either way.
Thank you. Whatever I decide, you'll be the first to know.
Thanks. All right. Let's get these parts and head back to the ship. And where did Leo and Pith go?
Not sure.
I'm about to say that would be a perfect screen transition.
Let me get the comm system up and running, or at least get the purchase arranged. Then I'll call in and find out what's going on.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright, you do your negotiation thing here. Just
Will do.
whatever they're offering, don't pay more than that, right?
What?
She has a bit of a smirk and just starts walking.
The hate I receive. No confidence. Confidence whatsoever.
Alright, we'll head back over to Leo as those two split up. And Leo, she's basically sticking her head back out, saying that she's called somebody. The head of the orphanage is coming up, and she kind of sticks her head back into the room. But you receive a comms call.
Leo answers it and goes, "This is Leo."
Leo, it's Pith. I can't get a hold of Rose, and I'm back at the ship. Her and Merez don't seem to be here.
I see, stand by. Leo will put him on hold for a second and try and see whether he can scan for Rose's signal for our comms.
You do not find her comms.
Leo takes Piff off hold and goes, interesting. I cannot locate her comm either.
Is it just off?
You said Merez is gone?
Yeah, they're not here. I asked around and they said they They went off in a direction. They haven't seen him in a while, not long after we left.
I see. For now, I wouldn't be too concerned. This isn't the first time that those two have headed off on their own. I assume it will be in regards to their activities.
I just hope we don't have a repeat of Tanab.
Let us hope not. Or Taris.
Well, unfortunately, Terrace was more unavoidable than Tanab.
True enough. I will keep an eye out on my end. When I get in contact with Miss Ileana and Desmond, I will report back to you.
Will do. Pith out.
And then he closes the comms.
About 20 minutes later, a female approaches, human. You're the droid who found an odd device in our wall?
Leo just stretches out his index digit and points at the box.
I see. What is your designation?
My name is Leo.
Leo, thank you very much for your assistance. And she starts walking forward. Do we have any idea what it could be?
It seems to be some sort of monitoring device, but seeing as though there are no official markings on it or any signifying features, it must be illicit.
Definitely shouldn't be here. And she pulls out a data pad. She starts typing in. Let's see. We started noticing power fluctuations about 3 weeks ago. It could have been installed then. I'll have to go over the cameras to see who's been through here.
3 weeks is after the sale from Borgil?
No, that was 2 months ago.
So, in other words, this is not targeted towards him, so that reduces the chance of the Hutts being involved.
That or they finally got a chance to get down here. This place is usually monitored from time to time.
Perhaps.
There's only so many ways in here. I don't know, but we're probably gonna have the whole station be looked over.
I will make mention that whoever placed this in is highly... That will drastically reduce the amount of targets that
you broke off quite well.
Oh. Okay. He said that he said that whoever put the device in the wall must be pretty tech savvy because of the way it's patched in, and essentially because it's being disguised almost as a power surge and not like an active drain. This was done by someone skilled, so the list of potential suspects are reduced.
Well, there is a lot of merchants who have this skill. I'll get security to start analyzing something. Well, what do you suggest we do about this for the time being? And she points at the box.
I would isolate. Sorry. I would isolate wireless transmissions from this area. Keep the power running. Whoever installed this will likely come and check on their device to make sure it's still working correctly, seeing as though they won't be able to get any transmissions from it. Then you lie in wait.
Okay. Do we have any idea what it could be monitoring?
No, not without some proper tools. Unfortunately, I do not have access to.
Okay. I'll authorize monitoring of wireless and containing this area. I'll even authorize a few extra cameras just in case.
I could perhaps, if you would permit, access your your relays and slice into whatever signal is being broadcast from this device.
You have permission.
And then that is what I'll do. Perhaps I should relocate to security.
Yes, I had security called. They're on their way. They're picking up some technical devices. I rushed here quite quickly. So, once they come, they can escort you to the security area and let you do what you need to do. I'll inform them you have authorization.
Much appreciated. One moment, I wish to inform my colleague of this because they are likely looking for me. One moment, and then he traces his gun. Calling to Desric and Illy.
Okay. Ellie will answer. Yes, Ellie, go ahead.
This is Leo. I am currently assisting the station in a security problem.
Security problem. Anything we need to be worried about?
Not right now. It seems to be an internal matter, but I'm assisting. Likely, I will be able to curry some favor with station.
Real quick.
Mhm.
Okay, so I noticed there's a lot of choppiness on Jonas's end, so I changed server location just in case.
Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3.
You coming in good?
Okay, testing. Hello?
It seems a little bit better, but I'm not sure if the in and out is server issue or something on your end, but I figured...
I believe it is Discord issue. I've been having this over multiple servers.
Ah,
So something in one of the most recent updates must have caused some significant voice issues.
oh, it actually seems to be a little bit better right now, so hopefully it'll stay that well.
Okay. So, yeah, Leo describes the situation and basically goes, this is an internal matter currently, and as such, you do not need to be concerned. That being said, one thing that you should be concerned about is Rose and Morez are currently missing, according to Dr. Piff.
Missing.
They are no longer on the ship, which means the Skylark was unoccupied for a certain amount.
Okay. Good to know. Please let me know if you hear back from them.
Of course, I have attempted to track them, but have thus far been unsuccessful.
All right. Well, I'm headed back to the ship after I wrap up this purchase, so I'll see if they left a note or anything.
Ah, that reminds me of I had contacted Borgil, who I might mention is a hut.
What?
Seemingly a decent one.
Again.
What?
What?
That was almost my reaction.
I need to have a word with Pith.
He is currently on the Skylark.
Right.
Bogle, however, said that he would assist us with the parts for the Skylark, as well as some other sundries that I require. In
Wait. Leo, are you seriously telling me we're taking favors from a hut? Or worse,
Dr.
doing
Piff,
favors for a hut?
Dr. Piff trusts him, so I trust him. Take it up with Dr. Piff if you have concern.
I'm more concerned that you don't have concerns. You hate the huts.
That is most certainly true. However, in this situation, I'm willing to trust Dr. Pup.
Okay. I agree. Doc's a stand-up guy. I'm not sure I'm okay with taking favors from huts.
You did not hear the conditions of the favor.
You're right. I'm gonna go talk to Pith.
The condition on the favor is that we deal with the pirates plaguing the city, be it in a conflict resolution, or we find out what their plans are and inform the station so that they can act accordingly.
Understood. All right, Desric, you go back to the ship, talk with Dr. Pith. I'm going to get the comms equipment over to the ship, and then go to that other level and see about some additional firepower.
Right. Okay. Yeah. This ought to be a fun conversation.
By the way, the other shop's name is Starship Home Defense.
I like it. All right, Ellie's going to go there after she's made arrangements for the comms.
Okay, so who's doing what now?
So Desric's trying to buy parts. So he's waiting for the salesperson to come back because we need to work out how much cable he needs, and then he's going to make a convenient excuse to not buy the nav computer, or not the nav computer, buy the
Astrogation computer.
computer until he can go back to his ship and make sure it'll be compatible.
And Illy, one more time, what were you doing?
Ellie is going to go back to speak to Avark about getting the comm system, getting it delivered to the ship.
Okay.
And then she's going to go to Starship Home Defense to get some prices on weapons.
Okay. And Leo, you're just waiting on security right now?
Yes, that's absolutely what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm actually cool if we want to do, like, since Illy and Dez are just basically doing some kind of bland purchasing, if we want to just roll those, determine those kind of off scene, and go back to
Yeah,
Leo's,
it'll be really quick, but Leo, the security arrives rather quickly. They immediately all surround the area you're at and begin to take data and whatnot. One does approach you. Ileana, were you intending to do any negotiations with Avark?
No, negotiations aren't really her thing. Although before she cuts the comm with Leo, one more thing.
Yes, Miss Elena?
If you need assistance there, please don't hesitate to ask.
Most certainly. Currently, I'm assisting with computer signals, so I should not need assistance for the time being.
All right. keep in touch.
Actually, before you go, keep the communications running between both yourself and Desiree. If you two have data pairs, now would be the time to uplink them to your comm. I have a map for you.
We both have wrist comms, which function as data pads.
Okay. So prepare for a data transfer. I have a schematic map of the station, which will allow you to navigate the place. It did look like chaos when I was walking through the streets.
Yeah,
Very
you
much
could say
is.
that.
Thank you, Leo.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. And then he cuts the comms once the transfer is complete.
All right. So now everyone has a map of the station. Desric, you need a total of 30 feet, 2 cables, one going to the hyperdrive, one going to the engine, plus the power distributor. The 30 feet of cable will cost you 2,250, and the distributor is 820 for a grand total of 3,070. And he returns with a Bothan. Ah, yes, I'm Gregor. I hear you're looking for some good cables, power distributor, an astrogation computer, and our sister shop weapons store.
Gregor, pleasure to meet you. Desmond Wright, captain of the Raven.
Ah, Captain. Always good to negotiate with someone who truly knows their ship.
Yes, well, in these parts you often have to make do, but I'm looking for some upgrades, and you seem to have a nice selection.
Oh, this entire shop is dealt with upgrades. I used to cater to racers of all types. Pod racers, starship racers around the galaxy. I did all kinds of things with them. Now, I bring the need for speed to everyone.
Well, I always appreciate a fast ship, but reliability has a lot to be said for when you're making so many jumps between, how shall we say, safe ports of call.
Yeah. Well, so long as it's just the basic needs of the ship, you will find no better reliability here. That said, this facility here is more built around the need for, high quality pieces dealt specifically for transmitting of a large amount of power, but not directly combat. So, be a little careful in that regards. That said, there are some lines between us and our sister shop that we sell a little bit more on the top, but they are registered for weapons grade energy.
Ah, very good. Well, I'll have to make some inquiries about that. I hear you have a fair bit of pirate traffic this way.
Yeah. That traffic. The death of us. All because Borgil will not deal with the Hutts.
Wait, I thought Borgil was a Hutt.
Yes, he is a Hutt. He's not your bog standard Hutt. Keeps going on about, pridefully I might add, being a citizen of the Republic. Even though it's the Empire. I don't know what his issue is, but apparently the Hutt Council's been bullying him or something. And he was supposed to sell this station to the pirates, not the orphanage. Now we're all paying for it.
Ah, I don't suppose there's a merchant guild or collective that's putting up a bounty for those pirates. I've got a bounty hunter aboard my ship, and I'm not opposed to taking out a pirate or two for some extra credits.
Just Borgil. No one wants to cross those pirates because, well, We're all quite certain they're being funded by the Hutts.
Ah, pity. Well, maybe
That
I'll
said,
contact this board.
under the table, I'm pretty sure everyone here would be very appreciative and would give quite a discount for assisting them.
I do love a good discount. But
Though, just to be clear, many have tried. None succeeded, so you're on your own with whatever you can buy.
fair enough. Speaking of buying, what do you say we get down to brass tacks? Unfortunately, I didn't take all the necessary prerequisites to track down the Astra computer that will work best with my nav computer before I came. Silly oversight of me. But I do want to get those cables and power distributor back to what port? What docking port are we in?
It's less of an actual normal docking port, but it's like an emergency docking port where they bring vessels that they have to rescue.
Okay.
Emergency port 1.
But I am interested in getting these cables and power distributor back to emergency port 1 as quickly as possible. I'm having my ship repaired and retrofitted.
It was in one of those. Sounds like you may have met the pirates. Well, either way. YT-1300, yes? Average distance for cables, even from the multiple variants. From the distributor to the engines, and as well to the hyperdrive, is about 15 feet. You're going to need both, so 30 feet.
I'd say that'd do it.
This grade is about 75 a cable. Not the highest quality grade, but better than any bog standard grade you'll get anywhere else, even on the 2400, I might add. So,
Fair enough.
if my calculations are right, that comes to about 2250. And the power distributor, 820. So, 3070.
I assume you take hard currency here.
Oh, yes. Most of our customers prefer dealing into it, yes.
Of course. I am interested, though, in one of these higher-end astrogation computers. If you cut me a good deal, that leaves me a bit more funds for my next purchase. What do you say we work on that price? So Desert's gonna roll a negotiation here.
No. He throws that price down on the top, saying they're approximately 5,000 apiece. Which changes the full total to 8,070, and this is before the roll.
Okay, but he hadn't picked out an astrogation computer yet. He's asking to be cut a deal on the cables and power distribution, so he has more money to spend on the astrogation computer.
Okay, so 1 second.
Basically, he's trying to leverage that.
Yeah, I just had to
put.
I had to put back the original price on my calculator, so.
No worries. And I assume you need me to rake a roll?
Yep. You negotiating?
Yep.
Go for it. I'm gonna flip a destiny.
Ah, well, I like my roll. Could have done with
Just noticed he is a businessman, so this is even by itself not gonna be all that easy.
Yep, but so I don't have stuff directly for negotiation, but I've got if he wants to try any hostile rolls against me, I have multiple things for that. So if you're gonna do a hostile roll, let me know.
He's just countering your role.
Yep, no worries. So that is 2 success, 3 advantage, and a triumph.
Is that success counting the triumph?
Yes.
2 success, 3 advantage, 1 triumph. Well, you seem like an interesting fellow. You definitely have a look of someone who appreciates his craft and appreciates, well, getting things done quickly, moving. And with your ship already shut up, you could definitely use something faster to help you along. Let's say I cut 30% off.
That would be most agreeable. I assure you, you have a return customer.
That said, 5% of that would be contingent on a little deal.
Oh, you have another investment in mind?
I always have investments. It's not just
As any good businessman would.
It's not just the pirates I have issues with. No, it's a certain competition. In this case, it's a certain shopkeeper who, how do we say it, creates experimental level items through reverse engineering, modifications. He doesn't know that I know about a specific one, but never underestimate a Bothan's information gathering skills. And he kind of winks as he says that.
So I've heard tell.
He's got a new hyperdrive. Modified. Its rating 0.8.
Ezra just lets out a long whistle.
Yeah. Now, I'm not a man of violence, so I don't want him harmed. I do want that engine. If I can reverse engineer that and put it on the market here, I could make quite a fortune. And as a bonus, a little bit of a partnership, if you manage to do it without being caught.
On one condition. You can reverse engineer it, make all the claims to it, but I want a copy, the original copy, from my vessel.
The interesting part is that it would be a little hard to do. You'd get the original, yes, but we would have to take it completely apart, learn it, and then put it back together.
Oh, I understand. This is a, how they say, long con. I'm a patient man when I get what I want, but I get what I want.
Well, you can understand a businessman. I can't just give it to you, but I can give it to you for 20% of its value. As a partner. Again, contingent that you get it without being seen.
Ah, and this is why I always employ a good slicer, sir. You have a deal.
And he puts out his hand. Glad to have a partner.
to good business, Gregor.
He snaps his fingers, and the Deveroni beside him leans down. Take care of him. I have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot more of him. He turns and bows politely. Have a good day, Mr. Desmond. Or Mr. Wright, because you said your full name is right.
Always, Gregor. Always.
And with that, he takes his leave. Deveronian walks up. Quite the negotiator. Let's hope you don't end up regretting this.
Oh, I'm sure some part of me will. But for now, I'll need those parts and all the information your boss has on this other hyperdrive.
Okay,
Preferably on an encrypted data pad. I know, Lance. It's brilliant. I think this might be the first time Desric is actually getting to do some underworld stuff.
Yeah, and he figures he's good at it.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, I took the thief tree for a reason. I'm finally gonna get to steal some shit.
Only if your luck changes with the rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, I got distracted. I was doing the math and what happened. Okay, you asked for secure data pad. He says most assuredly, hands you a data pad before walking off, saying that he'll return. And on that data pad, it shows all the parts you need with a 30% discount at $2,139.
Okay. I'm checking my math because I'm confused. Oh wait, off the 3,070. Okay, yes, that makes sense.
Almost a 900 credit discount.
Yeah, no, that was pretty sweet. Okay, so hold on, let me make sure I write down what am I doling out so I record this correctly? 21 and what?
2139.
Okay, cool, thanks.
The interesting part is how that actually came to be with that idea. Not just off the top of my head, but the fact that you rolled a triumph opened a deal. But the fact that you still had threat kind of made it into the darker area. I thought that was an interesting little tweak.
Hey, I'm all for that.
Agreed.
Desric is not above getting his hands dirty when it comes to fast ship parts and extra credits.
True. He just won't clean up his own mess.
Hey, he's gotten better. He doesn't always order the droid to do it now.
Mostly because the droid would just flip him off if he asked.
Yeah, that and he hasn't really been in that same position yet.
This is true.
Either way,
Okay.
Eventually the Deveronian does return with the secure data pad and all the information on it. He whispers it into your ear and returns to his usual business. I'm assuming you're leaving for the ship, right?
Yeah, I'm taking. I assume it's on a.
They're being delivered.
Okay, so yeah, I'm heading back to the ship to go have a chat with Pith.
All right. And Ileana, you have paid for the price. He states that he'll deliver it to the bay. And you're going where?
I'm going to head over to Starship Home Defense using the newly acquired map to find my way.
So as Desric's making his way back to the ship, he's going to calm Illy and just say, So I managed to get the parts for a good deal, 30% off, and a lead on a new hyperdrive, also heavily discounted. Talk to me when you get back.
All right, will do. I am on my way to the other dealer right now.
Sounds good. I gotta go figure out what's going on with Pith and with Rose and Mirez leaving. Hopefully, they remember to keep their heads down.
I'd like to know where the hell they went.
It's a big station, and as you and I both found out, it's easy to get lost. Let's not jump to any conclusions just yet.
I suppose not. I mean, if there were violence involved from those two, we would have heard something.
My thoughts exactly. For now, let's assume, well, as you say, give folks the benefit of the doubt. I'll go look to see if Rose said anything before she left. Maybe he left us a message.
Maybe. Not willing to take a bet on that, though. See you back at the ship.
See you back at the ship. And Desert clicks off the comm.
All right. Thank you very much, Ivark. I'll talk to you soon.
Good luck out there. And beware of the
Thank you.
pirates.
I will. Thank you again.
He nods and wishes you, just waves you off. Not like go away, but like bye.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that. All right. She will head off to Starship Home Defense.
All right, so Leo, like I said, the security has arrived. They begin setting up some stuff around the device. Look like they're trying to monitor and try to figure out what it's supposed to do. Others are sending about the room looking for anything else. What seems to be the lieutenant approaches you. You're Leo, right?
That is correct, sir.
A Zabrak male in his 50s stands before you, gives a curtly bow and says, I'm Officer, God damn it, I had his name. Taran, that's it. I'm Officer Taran. Thank you very much for finding whatever this thing is. I was told you also were going to do some slicing to look into some records or monitor some wireless communications down here, correct?
That's correct. I am quite skilled in this field.
Alright. If you'll follow me down to the security office, we are just two decks down. That's where all of our facilities are for all kinds of monitoring and the monitoring of the entire station and whatnot. Hopefully we can find something that suggests here. Unfortunately, when I was called up here, I had one of my people look into any of the cameras that are here. There are a total of 3 in this room. They were all turned off during multiple times during multiple days within the time it's been here. We haven't seen anybody.
They were turned off
Turned off.
by authorized means or
Unknown. The logs have been deleted. That or they did it in a way that there is no log.
then I'm going to have to examine the logs too.
Sorry. Overkill thought it would be funny to put up the episode 1 Gungan leader saying, "Be gone with him!"
Boss Nas.
Hello, Boss Nas. Alright, out of the way. He motions you to follow, and he begins walking out.
Okay. Probably not even going to notice this, but can I deter his sort of temperament about this sort of whole situation by looking at him?
Roll a discipline.
Discipline.
Isn't that what's used to, you know, read somebody?
I
Depends.
mean, if he was trying to deceive me, I imagine that's just discipline. So that's entirely up to you. If you want me to roll discipline, I'll roll discipline.
Well, there's
I
also the
would
thing how his professionalism can also be a mask in itself.
Yeah.
So that.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to roll perception, you can, but unless you had something.
Going for the same for me.
Okay.
And I got a triumph. This is probably the best roll that I could hope for with the,
Pretty
available
much.
All right, so that's triumph. Well, 2 failures and no, 3 failures. Sorry, and 3.
So I did fail.
You did fail. With the triumph, you can easily tell he's doing his job. He's thorough. He keeps cool, so it's hard to read him. You suspect he's probably been doing this a while, but you can't actually figure out anything past the demeanor that he's showing, which is calm, cool, under control, just another day of life kind of thing.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to see if I could be potentially walking into a trap, is all.
Well, you can see a lot of the other people, they do seem concerned, but it's
the
like...
reason for this
okay.
is the hole in my chest. Like, Leo doesn't exactly understand... he doesn't remember anything from that period other than the hunting down this sort of thing must have led him to his demise. So...
His previous death.
Yeah, his previous death. So he's basically like, okay, so if I have stumbled onto something that's a lot bigger than I thought it was, I could probably end up dead right.
Yeah, I can't wait till we actually tackle that part. That's going to be fun.
But yeah, no. Once he's, fairly secure that this guy's just doing his job, he's following it.
Yep, alright, so... You managed to follow him all the way to the place. But before you get there, Desric returns to the ship. Desric, you can see the mechanics running around. Again, most of them kids. The oldest one sees you and starts jogging in your direction.
Is this the same chief?
Yep.
Hans or something?
Shit, I gave him a name and forgot it.
Stans.
Yes, Stans.
Yep. Zabrak.
Mm-hmm.
How goes it, Stans? What have you learned?
The vessel has some extensive damage. It's going to take, if we repair all of it to full specs, it's going to take about a month.
Well, for the moment, I'm interested in getting her flight worthy again. To that end, I've ordered some parts while I'm on station. They'll be delivered shortly.
Okay. But still, just to get it flight worthy, and I mean that I would not lose sleep at night if I sent you out in it 1 week.
Fair enough. We'd collected a fair bit of armor plating to repair most of the gaps in the hull.
I'm taking it that was in the front cargo bay.
Right, and they'll be delivering a new power distributor and some high performance cables to replace the, let's admit, pretty frayed cabling that's in there currently.
Yeah, I really ought to give you an earful about that. How? I don't even know how it lasted this long. It's pretty bad shape.
Listen, kid, when you're out on the rim, you gotta make do. I admit it's not ideal, but we're here, aren't we?
I can understand the make do, but at that point, you pretty much get to the nearest port as fast as possible. All right, look.
How do you think we ended up here?
It did. Your records do state you made multiple stops along the way. You're lucky you made this one just in time. I think another jump and it would have frayed and you would have been flung out of hyperspace.
Going through my ship's logs, were you?
Records of the hyperdrive usage, as well as power distribution.
Just
General
don't get
maintenance.
too nosy.
We're not looking for anything of that matter, just general maintenance, how things have been holding up. The usual stuff. I don't know where you've been, I don't know where you're going, or anything like that. All I know is it stated you made a few stops, and then you're here. And that's with these modifications. And he air quotes the modifications.
Again, necessity. I didn't do it out of choice. But, irregardless, there should be new cables on the way as well as new comms equipment.
He kind of sighs. Well, at least the cable's a good weight off. Alright, two of your members left. I told the Athorian, Pith, he said his name was. They didn't say anything, they just walked out.
Very well, I'll look to see if they left something on the ship. Out of curiosity, which way did they head?
And he points to, one of the doors in the back that leads into the station. There's a total of 4 of them. 4 doors that lead out of the hangar bay and into the station.
Alright, thanks. Oh, did you ever get the estimate for the engine parts?
Engine parts? Well, if we're just talking the engines, we need to replace a lot of the armor. Do you really want to keep what looks to be fighter engines on that thing?
Well, if you've got something better, but I'd like it priced for.
At this area, no, we don't have anything better, but there are shops that can. There are a total of 4 shops. Choose your price range and parts. But
Well, I've been to Gregor's and
yeah, Gregor's has the best parts, but expensive.
And we swung by Avex.
Avark?
How do I Avark's? And we swung by Avark's place. That's where we got the comms equipment. He looked like he was well, scraping the bottom of the barrel a bit more.
Yeah, he does, but I can personally vouch for a Vox parts. He won't sell it if there's a chance it's gonna bust anytime soon. You can generally get maybe a year out of him, and that's the least amount you'll get out of his worst stuff. So, and the prices are good. I mean,
all right, I'll keep that in mind.
but if you want to keep the engines you have in there, replacing the fuel lines, setting up the armor again, look like it's been crushed. 5K. And that's just flat. Negotiate as you will, but I'm not the one you talk to on that part.
Keep that in mind. Thanks. Let me know if you make any more discussion. Out of curiosity, you think Avark would be, Avark? I keep trying. This is killing me. You think Avark would be interested in buying those B-wing engines?
Y-wing.
Were they B-wing? Y-wing? The Y-wing engines?
That's generally his field, but they've been integrated quite well, and I don't know.
I still got two that haven't been.
Oh, well, if you got two
Based
whole ones
upon
and they're in good shape, yeah, he'll probably buy them.
They're not going to do me any good, so yeah, I still got two more I can probably offload.
Yeah, he generally buys in that stuff. I don't know if he has any Y-wing components, but yeah, he'll take them probably.
Well, I'll have to go pay him a visit.
And beyond that, not much. Just more wiring, but at least it doesn't go to the hyperdrive or the engine this time. I could replace some of the burnout wire with stock, but if you want anything better, you know where to go. But as soon as we get that stuff here, do you want us to start installing it?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll give the okay. If there's anything else you want to know, and he passes you a datapad. It's all on that. Just before you leave, be sure to set that datapad down on that table over there, any points. Feel free to take what information you want on it regarding your ship. I've got to go get ready and get figure out exactly what's all coming and how much of it.
Sounds good. And Desric's going to head towards the Skylark to find out what's happening with his crew.
You're aboard the Skylark. You're doing a walk around. You do see some technicians, loosely technicians, buzzing about, checking things. Two of them seem to be on comms with Stan, and they start yelling out. It's like, okay, we've got permission to replace the basic cables and install the parts that are coming. You see them all immediately pick up what they're doing, walk out. Line passes you and says, we're going to get the parts. We'll be back momentarily.
Desric just nods and heads towards, first towards the cockpit, and then he'll go check on Pith.
Cockpit looks fine. Like he last left it, nothing new there.
Okay, then he's gonna go to the lounge on his way, looking for Pith.
You're in the
I
lounge.
also want to look to see if there's like any notes or anything.
You don't see any
from
notes
Rose.
or anything like that, but you do see Pith in the lounge. He is sitting at the table, just kind of leaning on it.
Hey Pith, I checked the cockpit. Doesn't seem like there's any message from Rose or Mirez. Anything missing or out of place?
Nothing seems to be missing or out of place. I ran around and did a check myself. I couldn't find anything. You figured if they leave a note, they'd leave it in plain sight.
Yeah, I think so too. Not that I want to suspect the worst or anything, but did you happen to check Miss Ileana's quarters? Make sure the artifact is still on board?
Didn't think she had quarters.
Oh, well, where does she keep her stuff?
Technically, only Rose has quarters. I don't know. Lance, where does Illy keep her stuff? In the engineering bay?
Yeah, basically. I think under the circumstances, though, she is probably not letting the artifact out of her sight.
So it's with her.
Like she's got her pack with her and secured. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you actually had it on you still.
Yeah, we didn't really cover it, but I don't think she's gonna leave that behind right
Okay,
now
then
after everything that's
Desert,
happened.
yeah, and since Desert was just with her, he would have known that, and he wouldn't have bothered to ask Pith. Okay, well, I mean, it's not that unusual for Rose to go wandering off without telling anyone. At the same time, I don't like that we can't find her. Let me give Leo a call, see if he can track her down.
I already
know he
asked
said
him.
it was turning.
He said he can't track them. So she either has her comms off, is in an area where the tracker can't find her, or she's not on the station.
I don't know how she'd get off the station unless Mares had another ship, but he didn't mention anything. Well, for now, I'm not sure there's much we can do about it, but let's be a bit more careful about making sure we always have somebody on board the ship. Is there any medical components, anything you need to stock up on while we're here, Doc?
Yeah, I'm completely out of stim packs for one. I could use some more medical supplies. I got a list.
Do you still have the credits I gave you?
Spent those on getting it the first time, and then the crash broke most of it.
Right. Well, credits are a little tight right now, but we definitely don't want to be running around unsupplied. How much do you think you need?
I've got a workaround for that.
Yeah, about that. I hear your friend's a hut.
Borgil? Oh, yeah.
And that we're doing favors for him?
I've always done favors for him. And he's done favors for me. He's helped me find a lot of the people who have been making plagues and whatnot back when I was doing that.
You'll forgive me if I'm a little concerned about making deals with huts.
Well, I can understand the rest of his race. Borgil's not like that. He was an orphan himself, raised in the Republic.
Yeah, one of the shopkeepers mentioned that he considers himself a Republic citizen. He knows the Chancellor is now the Emperor, right?
Yeah, when I asked him about it, he says he really doesn't want to recognize the Emperor or the Empire as the Republic, as much as he kind of has to. He doesn't like what they're doing. I mean, can you blame him? They pretty much had your family selling
Not
slave
liking
collars.
something doesn't make it. I don't disagree, but not liking something doesn't make it so.
Tell that to a rebellion. And your uncle, I may add.
What I meant, Doc, was just ignoring something because you don't like it doesn't make it go away. They're actively fighting the rebellion. Sounds like your friend's living a fantasy.
He's not ignoring it, he just doesn't recognize it. And he has deals with the rebellion once in a while. Not large. We've gotten to a conversation about refugees. A lot of them turned out to be freed slaves or soldiers wounded in the war. Rebellion soldiers wounded. Which comes to my part. I will be, for the time that we're here, Chief Medical Officer of the station.
Ah, so you got a new gig. A temporary one, I hope.
Temporary, yes. But I will be teaching as many medics about as much as I can. But they will be receiving some refugees later today.
Ah, well, I think it's safe to say you have at least a week to practice your new role. From what the young chief
He
engineer.
told me a month.
Yeah, that's to fix everything.
Why wouldn't we fix everything?
Because Illy's daughter's life may depend on us getting out of here.
Oh, I know. Borgil has a ship. He'll loan it to us. As long as we do that and come back. Well, you guys, I was gonna stay here. Seeing as the Skylark's still here.
I can't say I fancy the idea of leaving the Skylark, but,
It's either leave now and save Illy's daughter, or wait a week to satisfy your needs to save Illy's daughter.
no, I don't disagree, Doc. Just, anxious. Someone else's ship, borrowing favors from a hut. I know he's your friend, but
Don't
it's
think
just
of him as a
a lot to
hut.
take in.
He may look like a hut, but on the inside, he's as good as the Republic was back in the day. Either way, I've already made arrangements. He will get transport ready. I know, if anything, Ellie's going to jump at the chance. So either she goes alone, or you assist her.
You know I wouldn't let that happen.
And you know, if given the opportunity, she's not going to wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
If you're worried about being the captain of another ship, let her be the captain of that ship.
No, I'm not worried about piloting or captaining or being in charge of multiple ships. I'm worried about walking into a trap in an unfamiliar, potentially unarmed ship. And what happens if the ship gets blown up? Is he going to need us to buy him another one? There's just a lot of unknowns, Doc.
Well, I can't tell you about that one. I was hoping you guys wouldn't get blown up.
Yeah, I'd like that too, but
Well,
this is
think
the
of it this
exchange.
way. If you are blown up, you're probably going to be in the ship, so you won't owe him?
Happy thoughts, Doc. Happy thoughts.
I'm kidding, Desric.
Really? I've never seen an Athorian joke before.
Do I even act anything like a normal Athorian that you've known?
Well, given you're the only Athorian I've ever known, yes.
His head just drops, kind of lands on the table. You need to get out more,
Sorry,
Desric.
we don't get... I've been trying to. Remember, we don't get a lot of aliens back in the core. The Empire...
That
well,
depends on where you go.
you know.
Remember, I've worked in the
Doc,
core myself.
In case you hadn't noticed, I never really got outside the colonies before now.
Which is why I said you need to get out more. Either way, the ship
Tell that
isn't...
to my parents.
You're an adult. Why do you need to wait? Never mind. Anyways, the ship isn't unarmed. So you at least got that.
That's good. All right. Well, we'll chat with Illy when she gets back. Leo's handling some security situation. Sounds like he found some, I don't know, tracking device at the orphanage. Sounds fishy.
Well, whatever it is, I hope it's not dangerous. I hope it doesn't do any harm here.
Yeah, Leo said it's an internal matter for now, but we should be cautious either way.
Could very well be down to those pirates. Speaking of which, if we can do something about those, Borgil will take care of the ship in pretty much whole. And I'm pretty sure the shops around here would give us quite a discount.
Yeah, one of the merchants made mention of that. We know anything about these pirates?
The other merchants don't. Borgil has a vague idea because they met him once to buy the station. They're You're not gonna like this.
Obviously affiliated with the Hutts.
Yeah. Less pirates and more of Mandalorian raiders, old school.
Shit. Mandalorians? Proper Mandalorians?
Well, I don't know about proper Mandalorians, but they're Mandalorians.
Like Doge Mandalorians?
I don't think they would be classified as that level. The Core's of a different breed.
Just so long as I'm not fighting an army of Doges.
No. I mean, they're still Mandalorians, but these Mandalorians don't seem to really care for either of the two ways Mandalore's been going lately. That said, they're not opposed to violence either.
Yeah. Seems like all the Mandalorians who are opposed to violence end up dead.
Well, the whole planet is full of those. They're still alive. Either way, I've called Doge. I'm hoping he can help. Borgil's gonna give him an earful. He hasn't been calling him. Well, neither have I, but different story.
Wait. Hold on. Doge knows the Hutt too.
Well, yeah, he helped the both of us. I mean, you do remember Doge was there with me as I was going around curing the galaxy.
You made mention of him in passing, but you never said the three of you were all in this together.
Not directly together. Borgil was more the one who helped locate it. I mean, being a Hutt does have advantages even if you don't use those underground advantages. Most people will come to you thinking you are that. He gets a lot of information.
Yes, I could see the advantage. You know, Doc, one of these days, you and I are going to have a long talk over some really tall drinks at a cantina.
Honestly, when that day comes, I'll probably accept it even though I don't drink, because at that point, it'll be nice and calm.
I don't think we've had one of those points yet, but for now, let's get in touch with the rest of the crew. I don't like that Rose has gone missing, but then again, if we're going to go do business with the businessman, maybe it's best that she and Miraz aren't around.
Well, I know he said it was best that he wasn't around, but either way.
So Desric is going to calm Illy and Leo, just for that matter.
Right. Really, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Illy, Leo, I made it back to the ship. There's no sign of Miraz or Rose. Doesn't look like they left any notes. The repair crew's hard at work, and they'll start installing components as soon as they arrive. But the Skylark's out of commission for a while. At least a week just to get it safe to fly. More like a month to be repaired properly. It seems Pith's friend has a ship we can use to go make contact with the businessman. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet.
You know what? I'll check that out. Where do I need to go?
Let's check it out together. I want to know what progress you've made on getting the weapons.
Well, honestly, I'm just arriving. I'll see what I can find out here over the next few minutes.
And Leo, how's your security situation going?
I'm currently en route to the security station.
Actually, by this point, you just arrived.
Correction. I am stepping through the door now.
Right. Well, let's wrap this business up. When we go to the businessman, I prefer the whole crew to be here, but at the very least, I want both of you there if we can't find Rose.
I will endeavor to make myself available as soon as possible, though I don't know specifically how complicated this issue is going to be.
Do you need some help?
No, this is purely in my field of expertise.
Right. Well, give us a yell if it changes to anything that's not. Illy, wrap up with the arms merchant, and let's go check out that ship.
All right.
Have either of you decided on what we're going to do about the pirates?
Well, Pith put a call into Doge. Did anyone tell you these aren't just any pirates? They're Mandalorians.
I had asked Borgil to send as much data as he had, but if they're Mandalorians, and now I'm going to cut to Zeke. Zeke, can I do a knowledge check on Mandalorians to see whether I can figure out a way of maybe convincing Doge to assist us in taking out the man?
So you're basically going to do a knowledge check on
Yeah.
the lore of Mandalorians, right?
Yeah.
The current Mandalorians or the ones still following the old ways?
It's a little complicated regarding the current Mandalorians, but the type of Mandalorians that I'm trying to focus on is Doge's.
So the old ways.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're looking for like a code of honor or something that would convince him to fight these false Mandalorians.
Yes, that is precisely what I'm looking for. I essentially want to blackmail Doge with his own sense of honor.
Let's not blackmail. Let's convince. Blackmailing Mandalorians has a tendency to get you killed
I mean, possibly.
or worse, disintegrated.
So knowledge Alarum?
That or lore.
I'm gonna go with all with Alarum. Could have been better. 2 success, 5 advantage.
2 success, 5 advantage.
Yep.
I rolled a 1-1.
In one of my specialization trees, I do have Natural Scholar, but I haven't got it yet, so I'm relieved.
What does Natural Scholar do?
It allows me to re-roll any knowledge check once per session.
Ha.
Yeah, it's basically my computer's.
Yeah.
Talent.
All right. So at this point, you would know a little bit more than I would. Probably a lot more.
So essentially, from what I'm not an expert in Mandalorian culture, but from what I can tell, that they do have, at least Doge's breed, have a sense of honor regarding Mandalorians that step outside of the fold of what their code of ethics are, and are usually a little bit more motivated to take them out if they're not living up to the true Mandalorian way. And that's kind of why there's so many like Mandalorian leaders that get deposed throughout history. Certain people have certain codes, and if the leader's not living up to that code, they they take them out. So, with that knowledge in mind, Leo is going to go over to the comms and go. Since observing Doge, at least in his Mandalorian ways, he does seem to have a pretty strict sense of honor. And given our activities at the new Volker's base, I would see him being quite motivated into assisting us with dealing with rogue Mandalorians, particularly ones that have lowered themselves to outright piracy. I would advise you keep that in mind when conversing with him from now on regarding this particular issue.
Well, we haven't reached out to him yet. Well, I mean, Pith has, but we haven't spoken to him yet.
I'm sure you will, though. And I'm hoping that his ship is significantly armed. It depends on what these pirates are running with.
Right. I'll keep that in mind.
Okay, I will focus on my current tasks and I'll check back with you shortly when I know how complicated this is going to be.
Copy that.
When it comes.
Okay, Ellie is going to head into the weapon shop and see what's available.
All right, you head into the weapon shop, and you see models, not real weapons, but models of many star cannons. Not all of them were a 1-1 ratio, but they're there. You also see what seems to be displays talking about shields, armor plating, things of the like. You can tell that they do sell this stuff, but they don't keep it here. However, with it being 9 o'clock, it is time to put a hold.
Dang it! All right.
Either way, thanks everyone so much for joining in. Hopefully, Tuff will be back next week. Hopefully, I'll be here next week. Oof, time. Beyond that, what's up?
Next week is Thanksgiving, so I won't be here. I will be traveling.
Ah, okay, so no game next week. I forgot next week is Thanksgiving.
Well, if Abigail didn't mention that, I would not have known.
Yeah, sorry. Thanksgiving in the United States.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the Canadians already had theirs, right?
Yeah, I don't think it was on a game day either, so we kind of cheated a little bit.
Well, technically, ours falls on a Thursday.
So, but I'm traveling on Wednesday, so.
Okay, I gotcha.
For everyone who doesn't know, it's basically stuff ourselves with Turkey Day.
And watch football.
Pass on the football. I am not a sports fan. I like esports, but I don't care for physical sports.
Well, there's always the Bond marathons.
On Thanksgiving. Interesting.
Thanks, bonding.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Never mind. I'll explain after.
All right.
Anyways, thanks everyone so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Any thoughts, concerns, ideas, post it down below. I want to hear it. I want to hear what you guys are thinking about the story and how well I'm evolving, not just as a GM now, but as a storyteller. I do have a lot to learn, and I do still want to continue running some books and stories. So definitely let me know. Give me some feedback. Till then, see you guys probably in 2 weeks. Later.